Coming to you tonight from beautiful Woodbine Mohawk Park in Campbellville, Ontario, the scene of this year's Ontario Sire Stakes Grassroots Championships. 8 finals coming your way this evening, and we're doing so under very nice fall-like weather conditions. The temperature's cooled off into the mid-teens at this point in time, but we are under clear skies and playing on a fast oval for tonight's 8 race package here on COSA-TV. Hi again, everybody, and welcome back to our trackside location. Greg Blanchard, Mark McKelvey. Wonderful to be with you again. Thank you for tuning in wherever you're watching tonight. It's been a busy weekend for you and I, Mark. Last night down the highway in London, Ontario at the Raceway, and tonight back here for what is always an exciting evening for the first of 2 weeks in a row that we're going to see 8 championship finals in the provincial program.
Yeah, it's just like a TV series in a sense. You start the season off with the pilot or the opener. That was back in June, and now we've made it to the season finale. We've been tracking these 2- and 3-year-olds in the OSS, and here we kick off the first of 2 consecutive championship weekends at Mohawk Park.
So tonight, the Grassroots division, it's the second tier in the provincial program, but that's not to diminish the level of talent we're going to see here tonight and the amount of purse money that's up for grabs as well. And on that note, that's the theme of our poll question this evening. A lot of really good-looking youngsters going to the post tonight. We want to know from you, who do you think will be the most probable winner in tonight's Grassroots finals? And we've given you 3 options to choose from. Will it be 4 Whelan, the trotter Profound Paragon, or the highly impressive 2-year-old pacer Second Bruiser, or someone other than one of those 3? We'd love to hear from you. Let us know who you think will be the most probable winner tonight in the comment section wherever you are tuning in, and you'll automatically be entered for the draw for the hoofbid.com Urban e-bike. We've been qualifying people with each of our shows all season long, and we'll be awarding that grand prize at season's end on our November finale of the SBOA Championship Finals. So, Mark McKelvey, let's put you on the spot. Of those horses, is one of those your most probable?
Second Bruiser for sure. That would be my most probable, as connections have called him a man against boys right now. He has just been so impressive over the last few weeks. Came to the track a little later than some 2-year-olds. Didn't really get rolling here to the end of August, but wow, has he ever been ultra impressive. Can't wait to see him later on tonight in that 2-year-old pacing colt and gelding final. All
right, the other member of our team joining us tonight is Greg Gangle. He's over in our paddock location. He'll be covering things off there tonight, filling in for Jamie McDonald. Greg, a lot of excitement in the air, a lot of buzz over there tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Greg, you know what? This is the place to be. Woodbine Mohawk Park on a Saturday night. I was in the paddock earlier talking to a lot of the connections, just the morale, the positive energy from everybody. This is the place there where you want to be. Great for the Ontario Sire Stakes program to be showcasing such a product this evening. We're going to have 8 divisions featuring 2- and 3-year-olds of both gates, starting right here in race number 2, featuring the 2-year-old trotting colts and geldings, featuring 4 Wheel, and he's likely to be the heavy favored. And you know what, Greg, just talking about this this rich program, you know what, 5 preliminary legs, last week's semifinal, and then showcasing that bright talent here tonight. So lots to look forward to here throughout the program.
Thank you very much, Greg. Looking forward to your coverage throughout the night. Time to meet the field. Mark, let's get right into it. 8 championship finals tonight, and the first one to kick it off, 2-year-old colt and gelding trotters. And second choice in the wagering, Highland Mowgli, Bob McClure driving for Amanda Fine, comes in having won 2 in a row, including his elimination.
4 Wheel, we've already talked about him. He's looking to make it 4 in a row. Marcel Berrio cones and trains, Louis Waugh drives.
Insanity's number 3. The Golden Greek, Chris Christoforou in the driver's seat for trainer Matt Dupuis, looking for the first win this season, but 6 on the board finishes in 8 trips postward.
Time All Chrome is 2 for 8. He's also got 4 third-place finishes, including each of his last 3 starts, races for Tony Beaton, Trevor Henry. So much success in the OSS over the years.
There's Paul McDonnell guiding number 5, Rosie's War Bonds for trainer John Bax, another one that's a maiden coming in.
Lifelong Wish is the 6. Mike Saftic driving for trainer Pam Forgie. This one is 3 for 10 on the season. Has got 2 wins in his last 3. Was a runner-up to 4 Wheeling in the elimination.
Warrawee Windsor making career start number 5. Winless in 4 coming in, but getting better each week. Don Lindsay trains and co-owns. Jonathan Drury driving.
The McNairs team up here with Kilauea, number 8. Cadabra Colt, 1 for 6 on the season.
And there is number 9, our tall James McDonald will be on board for the Blake McIntosh trainee. 3 for 7 this season. It's been a while between victories, but knows how to get there.
And another father-son combination here with the 10. This is Greg, a gelded son of Cadabra, racing for John Bax. Matt Bax will do the driving. Now would be the perfect time to break into the win column for this rookie.
Alrighty, that's your field for the first of 8 championships here this evening. With a couple of minutes before we go to the post, we want to quickly let you know what we can look forward to here this evening. Kind of an overview of the night, Mark, and as mentioned, 8 championships and pretty lucrative considering this is the secondary tier of this program.
Absolutely. $75,000 is the purse for each of the 8 finals, which of course brings us to total purses of $600,000. An interesting stat is that the point leader in every division will compete in tonight's final. That'll be the first time that has ever happened since they've been tracking the points system in the Ontario Sire Stakes at the grassroots level. 8 championship races all in a row. We're diving right into it right now here, Greg, and the action isn't going to stop. But Greg Gangle alluded to it a little earlier on. There's always a good vibe in the paddock on grassroots final night. For some of these connections, this is one of the biggest opportunities they're going to get, and it's something that is a bit of a culmination of what has been a great season to get to this point.
All right, and speaking of those connections, Greg Gangle caught up with Pam Forgie earlier this evening. Pam co-owns and does the training for number 6, Lifelong Wish, a 3-time winner and one of the most starts in the field, 10 starts so far this season. We heard from her earlier. Let's hear from Pam Forgie now.
Roots final here for 2-year-old trotting colts. Pam, let's take us back to day one, a $10,000 yearling purchase. You know what? Let's take us back to that Harrisburg sale.
Actually, we bought him out of the sale in London.
Cut. We'll do it again.
Just to correct it.
Stand by, and we are recording. Edition number 6 and the first of 8 OSS grassroots finals. Pam, let's go back to day number 1, a $10,000 yearling purchase right here at the London Selected Yearling Sale. Tell us about that purchase.
Yeah, we were sitting at the sale with my partner, Don Scholdice, and we hadn't partnered with horses previous to this. And we both liked the horse, and we got him for $10,000, which we thought was a good deal. And at the time, Don bought him, and he's like, "Hey, do you want to partner with him?" We said, "Sure."
Wow, that's incredible. And obviously, $35,000 here in the rookie season, or the sophomore season, I should say, or excuse me, the rookie season. Training down, what were your thoughts? Was he something that you said was special, middle of the road, or something you didn't like?
Actually, training down, we just thought he wasn't a big colt, so we thought the other colt we had training down with him was a much nicer horse at the time, and we thought we had high hopes for him, and it turned out that we called this horse Jack. He ended up doing everything right, everything we asked him, and never really did anything wrong. And so that's when we got to qualifying time, and he qualified really well. Doug McNair actually did come and train him for us, and we decided to go gold with him, and it was just a little too tough, and that's why we ended up going the grassroots the last 2 starts, and he won both of them. So yeah.
Oh, okay, obviously it gets off the gate well. How do you see the race unfolding?
Well, if it was up to me, we'd be sitting third behind those other 2 and hope to chase them home. But he really has a lot of good gate speed, and probably will give the 2 that have the inside posts, he probably can outleave them. So I don't know. I'll leave that up to Mike. He knows what he's doing.
What kind of week did he have?
A great week. Trained him down good. Trained him Tuesday with our pace and filly, and they're both strong at the end of the wire there. So I think he's got a shot in here. I really do.
Okay, good luck.
Thank you.
All right, thank you to Pam Forgie, Greg Gangle. We'll work on our editing a little bit here as the night goes on. But hey, a busy show. We had a lot to try and get packaged up beforehand. So we want to focus, of course, on the breeding program. That's what it's all about, Mark. And you know, when you talk breeders in the province, the big names are here and well represented tonight, and they're having great years again.
Yeah, they are, and of course, win back atop the leaderboard when it comes to the leading earners amongst breeders in the Ontario Sire Stakes, and of course, they've got a high number of horses, of course, through their operations, but of course, standing out there as well as the Bob McIntosh stables, and again, it's just an operation that starts with the breeding, and then they have had so many champions out on the track. They do it all from the home base located near Windsor, and they've had a pretty good campaign to this point.
And interesting to see right in the middle of the pack there, the great Hanover Shoe Farms as well. The first of 8 getting set to go tonight. We welcome you, if you're just joining us, to Woodbine Mohawk Park. It's Grassroots Championship Night in the Ontario Sire Stakes. We are looking forward to it. And 3-2 in favorite as the gate begins to roll is 4 Whelan. He looks to make it 4 consecutive wins, the son of Whelan and Dealing, driven tonight by Louis-Philippe Roy for trainer and co-owner Marcel Berrio. The gate rolling for the first Grassroots final. Ken Middleton upstairs. He'll have the call next.
On the gate, the other semi-final winner, Highland Mowgli, who's won back-to-back for trainer Fine and driver McClure. Those two get the bulk of the betting support as the gate swings into the stretch for the second race, kicking off Grassroots Championship Night. It's post time. Two-year-old trotting colts and geldings set for their Grassroots Championship. Capped off starts for 7 Warwi Windsor and the 8 Kilauea. They're often trotting in a good beginning for Lifelong Wish out the fastest. Rosie's War Bonds leaving with that one. Speed outside from Arch Hall now. Coming away 4th is 4 Whelan. 5th away from the rail left Highland Mowgli. 6th outside to Timel Chrome. 7th through at the rail is Insanity. Then outside 8th is Warwi Windsor. Towards the rail 9th is Greg. Trailing 10th Kilauea. Quarter pole bound. Lifelong Wish has got the racetrack 2 likes better than pocket sitting Rosie's War Bonds. The opening quarter was a good one. 27 2/5. Arch Hall back into 3rd, 4 Whelan 4th. Highland Mowgli trots 5th, 6th Insanity. 7th across the backstretch to Timel Chrome. Then it's Greg, Warwi Windsor, and Kilauea. Action starts from the 4 hole as 4 Whelan is on the move. Off stride went Arch Hall. Arch Hall's made a break. Lifelong Wish confronted in the backstretch by 4 Whelan. 4 Whelan trucks right by. 4 Whelan finds the front, the half and 57 3/5. Back into second now is Lifelong Wish. Here's Highland Mowgli stepping on the gas pedal, 3rd now, 2nd outside, and he's up to challenge 4 Whelan as they trot into the final turn. Tempo quickens with 3/8 to go. 4 Whelan a half a length better than Highland Mowgli 2nd. Right there 3rd is Lifelong Wish. Insanity's on cover 4th. Timel Chrome advancing 5th now. Rosie's War Bonds up into 6th. Moving up on the outside 7th now. There's Warwi Windsor. They come to 3/4, 126 2. 4 Whelan up front, a length and a half better than Highland Mowgli. Back into 3rd is Lifelong Wish. Outside from in 4th, Insanity. Off cover comes Timel Chrome. And from the backfield, Warwi Windsor. 4 Whelan rockets out now to a 4-length advantage. And it's all 4 Whelan in deep stretch. Late speed outside from Warwi Windsor. Splitting through late is Timel Chrome, then Highland Mowgli. 4th, deep stretch. 4 Whelan and Wah. 4 Whelan to take the Grassroots Championship final for the 2-year-old trotting colts and geldings. 2nd best Warwi Windsor. 3rd went to Timel Chrome. Highland Mowgli 4th in 156 4.
For Whelan, flawless in capturing his Grassroots final tonight, and the lion's share of that $75,000 purse. Louis-Philippe Roy, really no anxious moments here, Mark. He got the first quarter out of the way, and then once he made the move to the lead, he was sitting pretty chilly the rest of the way.
Yeah, he certainly was, and they were honest enough fractions, turning for home off 3/4 in 126 2, and he scooted away enough there, got that separation, and he saw with about an 1/8 of a mile to go. Louis looked back, saw that he had a few lengths there, and he knew what he had when it came to 4 Whelan, a 30-2 final quarter, but that's a good mile for this group, and nobody else was really going to touch him. Goes 5 for 5 at the Grassroots level this season, does 4 Whelan. He was the points leader, and he delivers here in the first of 8 championship races. Real good effort from number 7 Warwi Windsor. This was one that I had circled just because this was one that came to the races a little later, end of August, was actually 36th in the point standings, but was able to compete in the semifinals, finished a good 2nd, and once again, another 2nd place finish for the Don Lindsay trainee, one that is only going to have 5 starts under the belt. I doubt they're going to continue on the rest of the year here now, so one to keep an eye on for next year.
Yeah, absolutely. Nice, big, strong colt. Nice gait to him. And yeah, I think next year, that's a name you might hear more from. Timel Chrome, solid effort as well. Good closing speed on the end. And really has been a consistent sort this season. Only missed the board twice in 9 starts this year.
4 consecutive 3rd place finishes for Timel Chrome. So certainly a check collector. There's no doubt about that. Is that Tony Beaton trainee? And there's a look, though, at your winner, 4 Whelan, who kicks things off. A nice victory, 156-4, and that's a new career best, shaving 2/5 of a second off of his previous mark.
Has to be nice as a driver, Mark. You come into a night like tonight, 8 finals, lots of drives, and you've got the favorite or probable favorite in the opening leg. So to get that win as expected, and great way to start off, right? And hopefully carry that momentum over the rest of the way.
Absolutely. And, we heard Pam Forgie's comments before the races about the fact that, ideal situation for Lifelong Wish would have been to get away third behind the inside two, that being Highland Mowgli and 4 Whelan. But those two from the inside, it's hard for trotters to get away real strong. And we saw that, but of course, Louis Waugh knew what he wanted to do and makes that move to the lead, and it was lights out from there.
There's Marcel Berrio with the trophy. Legendary maritime horseman who's been plying his trade in this part of the country for the last number of years. But what a distinguished career, and nice to see him having this kind of a season. He's had a barn full of top young talent this season, and 4 Whelan certainly among them. Marcel putting up one of the best training percentages of his career. He's got 1,500 career victories plus as a conditioner, and co-owns a piece of this guy as well. So another nice payday, and that puts him at right at around that $100,000 mark in seasonal earnings.
Yeah, really good performance here from 4 Whelan, and this is one that, of course, you got to ask the question next year, is this one that's going to be able to potentially make that leap up to the higher level? Who knows? But for Marcel Berrio, he's got a nice one on his hands here. All
right, there's a look at the returns. 4 Whelan at even money delivers. Nice exactor, though, with the long shot in there, 36 and change, and a 20-cent superfecta at a little over $42, as we get a winning favorite to kick us off here on Grassroots Championship night at Woodbine Mohawk Park. Our colleague Chad Rosema from the Woodbine simulcast show, he's over trackside, going to try and rustle up the connection, so hope to get some winning words here in just a few moments. There's Marcel Berrio, Louis-Philippe Waugh over in the winner's enclosure getting ready to go. 4 Whelan, what about Highland Mowgli? Was the other one expected to do well tonight, but a much tougher trip scenario?
It certainly was, and just wasn't going to be able to hang in there in the lane, and ultimately, though, gets a 4th out of what was a tough scenario, no doubt about that. But the Fine Barn has had a real good season, and they had a nice win earlier today down in Lexington, and they got a good youngster on their hands here with Highland Mowgli.
All right, it looks like Chad has Louis-Philippe Waugh standing by trackside.
With the horse I figure was probably the second best horse in the race, and I was just waiting kind of if Mike was gonna slow down a little bit up front, and when it kind of jammed up a little bit, I just that was the opportunity for me to kind of get out of that bad trip my horse was gonna get if he don't remove him to the front.
You know, he didn't have to trot home all that fast to be able to win. Was he wrapped up?
Well, I would say I wasn't asking him, but that's the first time I had to use him a little more, especially like the last 3 starts before. I never even let him trot, kind of. He did it by himself. He was really strong. So tonight was probably the only time I saw him a little tired, but I can't tell if he had a little more left or no. I didn't really ask him to.
I know Marcel during the season tried him in a pair of golds. He was 4th both times, but he looks like he's just getting better right now late in the season. How close in your estimation is he to being a gold trotter?
Well, the time I drove him, he ended up being sick in that goal. So the week after in the grassroots, he was complete different horse. So I guess if he had another shot with the gold colts, he could be among them. I'm not saying the best one, but I'm pretty sure he can figure out with them. But maybe we'll see next year.
You've got a full lineup in these championships here tonight. Did you come into tonight thinking, you know, there's a chance I could have a real good night here?
Well, most of the races are going to be really exciting races.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of races. There's 5, 6, maybe even more horses that can win. So it's hard to tell. It could be a disaster night as it could be a real good night. It's going to end up how much luck we get there.
What's off to a perfect start for you. Well done.
Thank you.
All right, Louis Waugh gets 4-wheel into the winner's circle in his Grassroots Championship in a career best 156-4.
All right, 1 in the book, 7 to go. It's a busy night here at Woodbine Mohawk Park, and when we come back, we'll dive into 2-year-old filly pacers, or filly trotters, I should say, next here on COSA-TV. Welcome back to COSA-TV coverage of our Grassroots Finals from Woodbine Mohawk Park. Up next, 2-year-old filly trotters with top of the bar, the divisional leader in the field. We'll have post 1 here in what is an excellent field of 10. A few doors down, number 5, HP Mama B, was an impressive winner in her elimination a week ago. This one sent out by the father-daughter team of Ben and Sarah Bergeron. And time now to meet Team Bergeron.
Hi, I'm Ben Bergeron. I'm one of the successful trainer in Ontario for the last decade or so, maybe 2. And this is my daughter Sarah. Her role is very important in the stable because she takes on lots of duty that I don't tackle, like organization and stuff like that. I focus more on the horses. And I say, lots of time I say, oh, we're doing this. So she tells me things. I say, okay, that's fine with me. We even tried to send her to university in Kelowna,
British Columbia.
British Columbia, and after a year and a half, she couldn't take it anymore, and she had to come back with the horses. No, the horses are really in her blood, so nothing I can do about it.
Watching Dad and working alongside of Dad for so many years now, number 1 is hard work trumps everything else. You gotta have good people around you, and you gotta have good horses and good owners. But the work that this guy puts in is crazy, so I think it all comes down to work ethic. Musical rhythm, he's an unbelievable animal, and I'm just lucky to be part of his journey. The 3 months that he spent at OVC, I cannot thank the staff enough for allowing me access to the facility like they did. I visited him every day. And once he came home, I was going to turn him into a riding horse and maybe do some stud duty. And he proves us wrong every time, but he makes my job easy, and I wish they all had a heart like him. Hitting a million's definitely on the horizon. I hope we get there without another injury. But I think he's closing in on 40 wins life, and he's got almost 900 made, so it's not impossible. This guy loves to race more than anything. And so as long as we do the half stud duty and half racing, I think we'll keep him happy.
Pretty sure we'd love to win the Embo. I'm I'm mostly known for training trotters, so a Betonian would be nice to win, but it takes that special horse to win the Betonian, and it takes that special day when all the stars are lined up real nice. But the Ambo is nice, but every race I win with her, it's fine. We win with Musical Rhythm, the final of the Graduate as when he was a 4-year-old, and this was pretty nice. And yeah, she's won many good races with. I've won many good races with her on my side, and it's pretty nice. It's always nice to win.
I would go for the Hambo for sure. Dad focuses on trotters. I prefer trotters myself, and there's no better day in harness racing than Hambo Day.
All right, so they're aiming high, and that's not surprising, Mark. This is a real formidable team. When you look at the stable, they operate year in and year out, and it's got to be a lot of pride, too, for Ben to be able to work side by side with his daughter and know that she has such a key role in the operation.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you just hear both of their voices right there, what they mean to each other, and how they're able to operate a very successful barn, a barn that has currently racked up the most earnings in the OSS this season. Ben leading the way when it comes with trainers for OSS earnings, just ahead of Dr. Rian Moore. And of course, Musical Rhythm, since that piece was shot, just picked up a victory here recently at Woodbine Mohawk Park, and as Sarah alluded to, is inching closer to that $1 million mark. And you could hear it in her voice right there, how much that horse means to her. Everyone knows that, and there's one that when he does get to $1 million, that's going to be quite a special day for the entire Bergeron clan.
Yeah, exactly, and the kind of horse and story that you're absolutely rooting for. And Ben Bergeron, I would say kind of an unheralded trainer when you really look at the overall record he's had now over a number of years since relocating to Ontario. And he's always a guy that's at least in that conversation when you talk O'Brien Awards at season's end.
Absolutely, and I think he should certainly be in the conversation this season. What an incredible year he's had, and not just on the OSS, but he's picked up some Grand Circuit wins recently here at Woodbine Mohawk Park. And when we came out of that COVID break, when racing resumed in June, there was no trainer hotter, and over the last few weeks, he has just been on a tear once again here, and I think certainly deserves to be in that conversation at year's end.
HP Mama B is the one that they have their hopes pinned on here in the upcoming third. Let's give you another look at that field page. Again, the leader in this particular category this season is Top of the Bar, and Top of the Bar will occupy post 1 at 16-1, so that's an oddity. But another oddity, Mark, you found out earlier today, it's the first time ever that all the point leaders are here in the finals.
Yeah, we do have the semifinals, and typically, just like eliminations, there's 2 eliminations. You got to be top 5 to make the finals. When the Grassroots Championships have been held at other tracks around Ontario, it hasn't always been a full field of 10. But this is, as I mentioned, the first time ever that the points leader in every division did qualify for the final, which shows that anything can happen and typically has in the past. So those points leaders so far are 1 for 1 after our first final, which saw 4 Wheelan come through. But if Top of the Bar is to come through, this would be a bit of a surprise, as he's currently, as you mentioned, a long shot on the board right now, coming in at 18-1.
The Bergeron pupil, heavily favored right now at 4-5. We'll have the post parade coming up here in a moment. Note they will be coming out a little bit later. It's that time of year. It's starting to cool off, and they wait longer to bring them out for post parade because they don't want to have them out on the track too long. And as you can see, horses and drivers now exiting the beautiful paddock location here at Woodbine Mohawk Park. And as mentioned, we've got the point leader here. You've got one from the Bergeron stable, a pair set out by conditioner John Bax. And I think both the 6 and the 7 here, Mark, they would be upset winners if they were to get it done, but certainly wouldn't be surprised to see either one of them hit that top 3.
No, they've been in the mix, certainly. That's been the case for number 6, doing it all. 5-1. Steve Byron drives this daughter of Cadabra. She's got 2 Grassroots wins on the season, but both of those came over the half-mile ovals. She got the job done at the end of August in Hanover, and then recently at Flamborough Downs, and then most recently was third in the elimination. So maybe she can finally get that winning touch on the big track here tonight. Steve Byron and John Bax, they've had lots of success in stakes races over the years, and they've been known to pull off a few surprises here at Woodbine Mohawk Park in added money events.
All right, there's a look at Steve Byron and doing it all, the daughter of Cadabra. The other Bax pupil following out behind will be Life in the Slammer, and Matt Bax, son of John, will be doing the driving on that one. Let's meet the entire field now. Top of the bar, as mentioned, the leader in the Grassroots division this season for this particular category. Is she a daughter of muscle mass? 3 for 5 this season. Mark Etzel trains and co-owns Bob McClure will steer.
Royalty for Life filly Megan Lady is number 2. JF McGuire co-owns and trains Louis-Philippe Watt will drive. This is a rookie that spent quite a bit of time racing at Trois Rivières, most recently was second in her Grassroots elimination.
Tipsy and Dixie converted a pocket trip to victory in her elimination a week ago. It was her 3rd win in 6 this year. James McDonald will look to duplicate that effort tonight.
Bandeo is the 4, daughter of Cadabra. Tony O'Sullivan training for John Fielding and Clay Horner. Jody Jamieson in the sulky. 1 for 4 in Grassroots action this season is Bandeo.
There's the even money choice. HP Mama B. Sylvain Filion will steer this daughter of Royalty for Life.
We already talked a little bit about number 6 doing it all, but there is a good look at the daughter of Cadabra. Steve Byron for John Bax, and for owners, Menhammers to Terry AB.
She was a $100,000 yearling purchase. Her stablemate Life in the Slammer, a $50,000 Lexington yearling purchase. Co-owned by Bax Farms, and Brad Grant, Matt Bax will steer.
Trevor Henry drives number 8 Cadillac Girl, also a daughter of Cadabra, owned by Brenda Sullivan Waxman. Richard Moreau trains.
Now, Blue Blood is number 9 in the field. A $15,000 Harrisburg yearling, daughter of Muscle Mass. Greg McNair trains. Son Doug will do the driving.
And from the second tier, it'll be number 10, moving to the top for owner-trainer Colonel Schneider, Bruce Richardson. He's had lots of success in Grassroots races over the years. He will drive this daughter of Cadabra.
Good looking field of 10. 2-year-old filly trotters coming up in our second Grassroots final. We'll take a commercial break, and when we come back, we'll find out more about this upcoming contest.
COSA, the Central Ontario Standardbred Association, proudly serving Ontario horse people with integrity and accountability. Collaborative, supportive, helping to ensure a vibrant harness racing industry. Lifetime membership is free and there are many benefits. Become a new member today. COSA, representing the interests of horse people racing at Ontario racetracks. To find out more, visit COSAonline.com.
Enjoy the thrill of the race anywhere, anytime with HPIBet.com. Join for free and use your smartphone, tablet, or PC to watch and wager when you can't be at the track. Stream live racing from over 450 tracks. Bet with ease from anywhere. It's safe and secure. Get rewards, race alerts, tips, and more. For a limited time, get $100 when you become a member. Plus, 1 month free live race streaming, and your first bet is on us. Go to HPIBet.com to join for free today.
There's a look at Tipsy in Dixie as we welcome. We've got the signal out on a variety of platforms again this evening. I'd love to hear from you. Let us know where you are tuning in this evening. It's always interesting, Mark. We get viewers worldwide, and that's the beauty of the internet. And again, we want to welcome everybody tuning in. It's been a lot of fun to do these shows all summer long, and we're now into the heart of the OSS Championship season. And here tonight, it's Grassroots Finals. 2-year-old filly trotters. Tipsy and Dixie, a moment ago, James McDonald engineered the perfect trip last week and scored her 3rd win of the campaign. What kind of a trip do you think's in store for her tonight?
Well, if you look going back through all of her past performances, she's typically sitting in the 2 or 3 hole, and then if you can shake loose, she's always got a shot. She has been a filly that's always in the mix. 3 wins in 6 starts, a pair of runner-up finishes, so 5 for 6 in the top 2, and you're getting 5-1 on the board. I know HP Mama B looks pretty good, and there's a reason why she should be the favorite. But I don't mind getting 5-1 right now in Tipsy and Dixie. She's the one that I actually rated in the top spot here. James McDonald's had a good go over the last couple of weeks here at Woodbine Mohawk Park and got the job done in those Grassroots eliminations, which, Greg, last week we had the Grassroots eliminations, the semifinals as they do call them, on Thursday and Friday. Very competitive races. They were bet very well, which I think really sets up for a very successful night, not just on the track, but at the windows here when you've got full fields in all 8 finals.
Yeah, how about the wagering numbers? If there's been one, I guess, bright spot of the pandemic situation and racing able to continue, we had already had a long history of simulcasting and broadcasting races all over the world, and I think harness racing's benefited from that standpoint. The wagering numbers have been absolutely huge here in Ontario. How about September alone here at Woodbine Mohawk Park? I believe a record month, was it not, for the standardbred side?
Absolutely. Those huge Saturday night cards certainly helped, but it was also the middle of the week hitting 2 million on a very consistent basis. You go back to these eliminations that I just talked about a week ago. Who would have thought on a Thursday and Friday night, even a Thursday though specifically, when you've got a group of 2-year-old grassrooters, a $2 million handle, but that was the case. And as we see between breaks, when we do step aside here, HPI Bet, Dark Horse, all those platforms readily available. HPI Bet recently just teaming up now with PayPal, so you can use PayPal to deposit and play along on HPIBet.com.
And 2-year-olds here, 2-year-old trotters, so anything can happen. And these are the types of races where you can sometimes see those jackpot payouts. But it looks like the public fully enamored with HP Mama B. We heard from the Bergerons a little while ago, and they're enjoying another phenomenal season and a barn full of top young stakes talent. And here's one of them. The daughter of royalty for life comes in having won 2 straight and had a pretty easy time of it in that semifinal victory a week ago. We'll see if she can follow up and win tonight's $75,000 championship final. Starting gate is in motion. Once again, we're going to head upstairs to track announcer Ken Middleton.
Starting gate is rolling, and the trotters heading up to it now. 2-year-old fillies for their OSS Grassroots Championship. Talk of the tote board at 4 to 5 is the 5, HP Mama B. She rides a 2-race winning streak coming in for conditioner Ben Bergeron. The reinsman is Sylvain Filion. The gate swings into the stretch. Third race gathers speed, approaches the start. They're off and trotting in a good leaving move from Megan Lady. Tipsy and Dixie's alongside down the center of the racetrack doing it all. And from the grandstand side, a Blue Blood is rocketing out of there for McNair. And there goes a Blue Blood sent right to the front. Coming away second, Megan Lady. Third, taking a tuck in that first turn, goes Tipsy and Dixie. Fourth away at the rail, left out top of the bar. Dropped in fifth, went doing it all. Sixth outside to HP Mama B. Seventh away in the early going is Bandeo, and the final 3 in the field are Moving to the Top, Cadillac Girl, and Life in the Slammer. First panel, 28-1. Here with a pocket pop comes Megan Lady to loop around that long shot leader of Blue Blood, who's now back into second. Popping out third, Tipsy and Dixie, jumps up on the gas pedal as they go by 3/8. That first panel is 28-1. Megan Lady takes them to the cover, doing it all to fourth now, 50 inside to top of the bar. HP Mama B realizing she is in a bad cover situation here. Not advancing on the outside as the flow stalls. So HP Mama B's got to fire 3 wide right now, and up in front of her 3 wide is doing it all. 3/4 of a mile in 1:27. Megan Lady trying to steal it up front. She's still up front by 2 lengths. Second at the rail is a Blue Blood. Tipsy and Dixie third. Off stride went a Blue Blood there in deep stretch. HP Mama B's coming on with late speed now. HP Mama B sizing up, doing it all in the final 1/8 of the mile. Doing it all in HP Mama B. It's HP Mama B on the outside, doing it all, fights on at the rail. HP Mama B reaching up to win. She won it by a length over Doing It All. Third best was top of the bar, tight for fourth in 1:57.3.
An action-packed 2-year-old filly final in the Grassroots Championships tonight, as HP Mama B does deliver for the favorite backers, but gave them some anxious moments heading into the last turn. Mark, it looked like Megan Lady might be tough to catch. Appeared to be moving well on on a sizable lead coming to the head of the stretch, but as soon as they turn into the stretch, she kind of came to a walk and caused a lot of confusion.
Yeah, certainly did, and some anxious moments there, no doubt about that, as everybody got jammed up. But as it turned out for Sylvain Filion, he was sitting about 5-6 lengths off the lead at 3/4, and he actually ended up being in the perfect spot because he's able to avoid that confusion at the inside and powers up in the center of the track to get by. A good effort from doing it all, and we talked about that. Max trainee who has put up some good fights, has to settle for a second, but it is HP Mama B that does deliver. And I was like you, I thought Megan Lady, Louis Waugh might just be taking off on them once again. So that's now 2 consecutive races. I mean, I know it's been 2-year-old trotters to kick things off, but they're getting down to 3/4 in a pretty good clip, and they're not coming home too much. So we'll see how maybe that trend does continue with those youngsters.
Yeah, the temperatures really dropped noticeably tonight, Mark. It's a pretty nice night, all things considered, for this time of year and in this part of the province. But it's dropped as far as temperature, and it's a damp night as well. So, weather's going to be a little bit deceptive, I think. And we see, 57. That's in hindsight going to be a pretty good trip for the 2-year-old filly trotters here tonight. So the favorite gets it done. Good effort from the runner-up doing it all. Top of the bar, another good result for that one, and she'll put the finishing touches on her OSS season in style.
Yeah, again, a 3rd place finish, so on the campaign for that Marcel trainee. 6 starts, 3 wins, 5 top 3 finishes, and that's a very good season for Top of the Bar, who was the points leader as we talked about, and went off at odds of 12 to 1. So if it was one that you knew or you liked, and you wanted to get in on the exotics, then hopefully you had Top of the Bar there in something, because she was in the hunt once again.
It's been all the French connections so far. Marcel Berrio, Louis-Philippe Waugh clicking in our first final of the evening. And here it's Sylvain Filion teaming up with trainer Ben Bergeron and HP Mama B getting it done. And the happy connections heading back into the winner's enclosure. So back half 59-4, last quarter in 30-3. We'll see if that trend continues as we watch later races here this evening. But yeah, it's going to be a little bit of tiring, I think, for those horses that have to do work, especially in the middle portions of the race. And I think a victim of that was Tipsy and Dixie. And last week, that perfect 2-hole trip and the result a win. This time out gets caught in a first up situation.
Yeah, and James McDonald really had his hands tied there a little bit with the fact that it was a 99 to 1 shot in a blue blood who blasted out of there and did get the early lead. So of course Waugh's going to loop around, and you don't want to get caught behind a long shot like that, especially considering for McDonald, you had to be wondering when's Filion coming, and he wasn't able to get by Megan Lady. But I think overall pretty good effort from Tipsy and Dixie, because she battled in the lane. Haven't seen the top 4 posted yet. She was in a photo for 4th, but nonetheless is going to take home a check here in this grassroots final.
So donning the rewards of winning. You've got the bundle of carrots there. I think the winning trotter is going to appreciate those later tonight. Got some flowers. What else have we got? A nice trophy there. And of course the beautiful OSS championship blankets. They're always fantastic, and thank you to Ontario Racing as well. HP Mama B, now 3 consecutive victories, and royalty for life. Another stallion credit for him, who's had a very solid year again in the provincial program.
Yeah, that is the case, royalty for life. I think the trotters, it's been spread a little more this season amongst the top sires on the trotting side. But for royalty for life, gets a grassroots winner. He's sitting second behind Muscle Mass when it comes to earnings in the OSS program this season.
The other, the co-owners of the trotter are Guylain Picard of Guelph and Céline Paquin of Ayers Cliff, Quebec. So congratulations going out to them. Joanne Colville, our outrider, giving some assistance to the horses. She makes her way back to our paddock location. Nice, big, good-looking filly, Mark, and you have to think she'll be one that we'll hear from again next season if all goes well.
Absolutely, and you go back 3 starts coming into tonight. They took a chance going in Grand Circuit action. They took a shot in the Champlain, so obviously the connections think highly of her.
And Sylvain Filion is the man who engineered the winning trip here this evening. He's standing by over in the win-back winner's circle. Chad Rosema will have some words from the winning connections in a moment as we give you a quick look at the prices. $3.80 the win ticket return. Another favorite getting it done, doing it all, top of the bar, and Tipsy and Dixie rounding out your top three. The early pick three, a popular one, a 20-center at around the $8.50 mark. 20-cent super, though, with a couple of price horses in behind at close to $50. All right, we'll send it over trackside. Chad will have words from Sylvain momentarily.
Winning driver Sylvain Filion to conditioner Ben Bergeron, who's out continuing to work. He's hard at it, Sylvain. This filly, and you know what, I think Ben's been hard at it, just kind of getting this filly on track. What's been the difference with her from the start of the season to now where she's racking up the wins?
Well, she was pretty much a work in progress. She showed a lot of talent early.
Yeah.
And then Ben could probably tell you she had a lot of issues. And I got to give credit to their team, Bergeron team there. She was pretty good tonight, and they had to work hard on her, though.
Now tonight, you know, you got the speed to chase. Where you were sitting coming off the last turn, you had to be feeling they're going to come back to you.
I was hoping anyway, you know, and around the last turn, halfway through the last turn, my mare kind of hooked on the right line, so that kind of got me a little concerned. But at the top of the stretch, I was able to edge out, and I knew it was going to be a winner then.
You know what it feels like to win a Lampman Cup. You've won it multiple times, and you know it seems to be a two-guy race right now between you and Bob. I know you closed the gap here a little bit, but it'll be a busy couple of weeks. Maybe just a quick comment on the competition between you two.
First of all, it's a very nice competition. You know, where there's no hard feelings between both of us. We tease each other.
Yeah.
You know, it's just good, and I just love it.
All right. Well, best of luck and nice job on the win.
Thank you very much.
Sylvain Filion delivers here in the 2-year-old filly trot grassroots final. HP Mama B gets it done in 1:57 and 3.
57-4 the first half, and they're battling.
Consecutive winning favorite of the night. We will see if that trend continues. Up next, 3-year-old filly pacers in the grassroots finals from Woodbine Mohawk Park.
Harness Racing Up, its most comprehensive and timely news source. HRU covers the sport from all angles with news, features, photography, opinion, and analysis of racing. Also, HRU covers breeding and sales, as well as industry stories you need to know. It's all delivered by a deep, diverse, and talented team of writers and photographers. And the best news is that it's free to subscribe. Subscribe to HRU today for free at harnessracingupdate.com and see what everyone is talking about.
Welcome back. There's a look at the scene from the infield at Woodbine Mohawk Park on this chilly but very pleasant October evening. And what a night it is when you consider that we are crowning our grassroots champions this year in the Ontario Sire Stakes. And let's talk leading trainers this year in the OSS program. Sean Stacey, kind of a breakout for him in the last couple of seasons, and here he is leading as far as points concerned.
Yeah, it's had a real good season, has the Stacey barn, and they've racked up good numbers in the Ontario Sire Stakes. And for Sean, recently kind of taking the helm at the top of the barn, so to speak. His dad, Mark Stacey, a past leading trainer in the OSS. He had won that title a few times. Sean looking to get the job done himself, as he would like to win the Johnson Cup. Has got 247 points. That's coming into tonight. Ben Bergeron's numbers really stand out just based on the earnings. It speaks volumes to the kind of horses that he's having success with this season in the OSS, a lot at the gold level, as he does lead all trainers when it comes to earnings.
And you know, year after year, you see a lot of the same names atop the standings, and there you see McNair and McIntosh prominent again. Anthony Beaton, a real nice season for him, and you're seeing his name more prominent near the top of the standings as well. Sean Stacey, though, he leads in the points category. He's got a starter in the field here in number 2, Mary Cat. But when we look at the semifinals from a week ago, the second of those was a highly entertaining affair. We're going to take you back and show you that from last week. Eventual winner, Smiling Dialing, as we're going to pick it up, got shuffled all the way, Mark, to the back of the bus. That's her wearing saddle pad 6 in the yellow down on the inside. Doesn't look good right here.
No, it certainly does. If they're going to 3/4, and eventually is going to end up sitting 10th at 3/4 here. And somehow, Jonathan Drury is going to be first to the line. Certainly worth another look.
From the backfield with plenty of pace to chase. 3/4 in 124 and they swing home. To the front outside is Mock My Kiss, battling on his Mary Cat. Now off cover, Free Flying Ticket, tugging on credit from the backfield closing, scooting up the inside with late pace. Smiling Dialing is coming through. Deep stretch, Mock My Kiss, outside Free Flying Ticket. Smiling Dialing continues to pick them up at the rail. Smiling Dialing looking for a big upset, but on the outside it looked like Mock My Kiss found the line in time for McNair. Mock My Kiss in 1:52.3.
52-3, Smiling Dialing, frankly, had been struggling going into that race, Mark, and thus the odds of 51-1. Big improvement, no question. Now had a ground-saving, cone-skimming trip, so that's a little deceptive, but still had to come from a long way to win.
And you can just see kept on coming, did not hit a wall whatsoever. And in that photo finish with Mock My Kiss, it was very tight, and you heard Kevin Middleton's call there. It looked again on the replay like Smiling Dialing was second best, but did prevail in that photo finish. And an outside post here tonight, probably going to have to come from well off once again, but if history could repeat itself, Smiling Dialing could pull off another double-digit upset.
All right, time to meet the field for this grassroots final for 3-year-old filly pacers. Need your opinion. We'll lead off the parade, a daughter of Warrawee Needy. Jody Jameson, of course, very familiar with that stallion, and he'll be driving the daughter here. Kevin McMaster trains. She's 1 for 11, but 5 on the board finishes this year.
Mary Cat from the Stacey barn, 5 for 19 this season, has got 14 top 3 finishes. It's been a fantastic campaign for her. James drives for the ownership group of McDonald, Bertrand, Gillespie, and A.K. Malik Stable.
Mock My Kiss, who just missed by a whisker in that semifinal last week. She's a 3-time winner, 7 top 3 finishes this year for trainer Rob Fellows, and Doug McNair back on board.
He's watching filly Cat is the 4. Friday Dean trains for Wilma and James McKenzie. Chris Christoforou between the wheels.
Marcel Berrio already with a winner in grassroots action this evening. Be Sylvain Filion looking for his second grassroots championship of the night.
Number 6 is Odds On Vero Beach. Had a few weeks off before the elimination a week ago. Might be better. Second start off the bench. Tony Alanya trains for Odds On Racing. Trevor Henry drives.
Lions Tilt Hanover. She was the other semifinal winner last week. 52-3, back half, and 54-4. Anthony Beaton trains. Jay Harris drives.
They're Smiling Dialing. The big victory last week in the elimination at 51-1. Jonathan Drury for trainer Rod Boyd.
Free Flying Ticket, number 9, another from the Anthony Beaton barn. She's hit the winner's circle 4 times this year. Almost 50,000 banked. Bob McClure will try and engineer the upset victory.
And completing the field is Mia Culpa. Louis-Philippe Waugh will look to get back to the winner's circle after having his mini 2-race win streak that he got rolling on the start of the night come to an end there in the 3rd. He drives this one for Jean Tourney. 4 for 14 on the season is that daughter of Shadow Play.
Alrighty, there's a look at the field, and in a moment we're going to hear from Marcel Berrio, who sends out another starter here. Marcel already with a winner earlier on the program. And he's got better than Bobby with a good mid-gate starting position here. Mock My Kiss, as mentioned, the point leader in the division. It looked like she might have held on and won last week, but picked off by the aforementioned Smiling Dialing. And yeah, good field top to bottom in this spot. Several of them have multiple wins under the belt already this season coming in. Something's got to give. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch. But yes, Marcel Berrio looking to continue. A good night already at the office, and he sends out the 6-time winner Better Than Bobby earlier tonight. Greg Gangle caught up with him.
Berrio's going to send out a couple of starters here in the Grassroots final. And Marcel, let's start off here in race number 4 with Better Than Bobby, a 3-year-old filly here by Better Than Cheddar. Fresh off a 3rd place finish in the Grassroots semifinal. Just give us a quick analysis or synopsis of her season so far.
Well, she come up from the Maritimes just before the stake season. Tom Weatherby got her ready for me, and she was in great shape, and she started racing very well, and she had a good go there for a while, and then she got off on me. She got a little sick, and then she tailed off, but I like the way she raced last week, so she might be coming back to form.
How do you see the race shaping up tonight? She always seems to kick home quite well, but kind of seems like she might need a trip.
Well, she can do it both ways, but lately, like, you know, with such speed up front, she's been coming back from behind like pretty good, so.
Okay. Yeah. Over in race number 8, got a really nice horse here that you're going to send out here from Post 5. TH Present, a filly here by Royalty for Life, a $24,000 yearling purchase a couple of seasons ago. Tell us a little bit about her.
Well, last year she gave me a lot of problems. Like, you know, she wasn't controllable that much, and spent a lot of time with her this spring, and she come around real good. And one thing about her, like, she wants to trot, like, you know, she's a honest trotter, and but she's a handful, like, sometimes. And the last few starts, she's been coming back fairly good, like, you know, coming good back, good last quarters, and good timing. So, you know, at the right time, I hope is the right one.
Been very consistent for you, Marcel, in the last 3 weeks. How is she coming into tonight?
Tonight she's felt real good there. I trained her a little bit lightly this week, like, and all system go. Like, you know, she trained as good as she could.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Marcel Berrio, some thoughts on his charges in here. Better Than Bobby. Talked about this one. Learned her early lessons in Atlantic, Canada. Tom Weatherby, shout out to him. He does a great job with young horses down there, and you know, so they come up here and they're ready. And Marcel, of course, you know, a top horseman himself, and talked about the fact that, you know, it's a long season, isn't it, Mark? You know, she was good right off the bat. You know, had a few issues at the midway point, but it looks like they got her back on track.
And that's the one thing you want to be looking for going into a race like tonight. You want to be peaking, and the one thing you can take from how this season began for her is, you know, that she's got that experience winning. She knows what it takes, and if she's coming back around and finding her best form heading into a race like tonight, she's one to certainly take into consideration. 6 wins this season. Does Better Than Bobby have on her card? That is the most in this field of 10.
All right, and you know what? You lose by a whisker last week, and what do you get for that? A little bit of disrespect from the betting public. 4-1 on Mock My Kiss currently. So I'm going to back that one in here. I think the price is right, and good post to work with. Who do you like?
I like Lions Tilt Hanover 5-2. I like the performance we saw from her last week, winning her semifinal. I'm surprised to see odds on Vero Beach, the favorite, at 2-1. I mentioned that daughter of Better's Delight had a little time off between the September 5th and October 2nd start. Comes from a barn that has a lot of success at the Grand Circuit level. Maybe that's why she's taking a bit of play, but certainly a very competitive group here. But I'll go with the 7, Lions Tilt Hanover.
Competitive, that is the word. This is going to be a good one. It's the 3-year-old filly pace final, and here's Ken with the call.
And slight choice of the group is 6 odds on Vero Beach, a 4-time winner from 12 starts in the year. Tony Alanya trains, Trevor Henry's aboard. She'll take on 9 others. It's post time for the 4th from Mohawk Park. Gate swings into the stretch, gathering speed approaching the start. And they're off. Better Than Bobby, leaving speed from her in the center. Outside is Odds On Vero Beach. Speed inside from the tandem of Mary Cat and Mock My Kiss. Away fifth at the rail, Need Your Opinion. Mia Culpa left directly behind her from the second tier. She is sixth. Seventh going into the turn is Cat. Then it's Lions Tilt Hanover. Further back to Smiling Dialing and Free Flying Ticket trails. Quarter pole bound. Chasing Odds On Vero Beach. Favorites on top. Just over a length clear, 26-2. A hefty price she paid for the privilege of leading them to the backstretch. Better Than Bobby in the pocket spot. She's right up on the iron in second. Third inside to Mary Cat. Mock My Kiss fourth. Fifth now to Need Your Opinion. And the sixth one back is Mia Culpa. There's Mock My Kiss. Hustling up first over to come after Odds On Vero Beach. They near the midway point. Odds On Vero Beach was getting a breather, but now she's as pressure is coming from Mock My Kiss. Half and 55-2. Second panel, 29 seconds flat. They drive into the final turn, and it's Odds On Vero Beach with the lead. Outside is Mock My Kiss into second now. Back into third is Better Than Bobby. Cover fourth enjoyed by Need Your Opinion. And trapped in fifth is Mary Cat. Sixth on cover, Mia Culpa. Seventh through at the rail is Cat. Further back outside, Lions Tailed Hanover in the flow from an eighth. Ninth outside to Free Flying Ticket. And trailing at the rail, Smiling Dialing. Bumper to bumper traffic as they fan out from way back. 3/4 in 123-2. Odds On Vero Beach. Hard used on that lead. Under pressure around the turn from Mock My Kiss. Catapulting off cover from the backfield. Here comes Mia Culpa and way out wide, Lions Tilt Hanover. Mia Culpa and Waugh to the front. Outside, Lions Tilt Hanover from way back, Free Flying Ticket. It's Mia Culpa. Mia Culpa to give Waugh another. His third on the card. Up for second, Lions Tilt Hanover, then Free Flying Ticket and Mary Cat in 151-4.
An entertaining 3-year-old filly pace final in the Grassroots Championships tonight. The winner looked like it could come from anywhere as the field turned for home. You knew those fractions, those demanding early fractions, were likely going to catch up to the leaders, and you were watching horses from off the pace. And Mia Culpa, a change of tactics last week in the semis. As the favorite, was handled aggressively in the middle half and faltered. Tonight, a different approach works perfectly.
It really did, and that middle half, that certainly gets right back to the winner's circle. That's his third winner on the card here tonight, his second Grassroots Championship, and quite the finish there. Everybody in the hunt, so to speak, as those that were up near the front obviously weakened in the lane. But Mia Culpa, I guess off that performance last week, Greg, it goes back to what we were talking about before the race, not getting that same respect, and ends up going off at a real generous price for those that were able to back her.
And I'm sensing a trend tonight. The winning conditioner here, and Louis-Philippe Waugh with his second winner. So as a driver, I would say bring with confidence right now, putting them in the right spots so far here this evening. And Mia Culpa is Johnny on the spot to score at odds of 13-1. Lions Tilt Hanover, certainly a good effort for her. Just second best tonight, the way the trip worked out, but solid effort and solid performance. And Free Flying Ticket, if there was one that maybe overachieved slightly based on the recent form, it would be her. Good closing third at 17-1 to round out what is going to be a very nice triactor return.
Yeah, I'd say Bob McClure would be pretty impressed with the effort he got from this one as he picked up the drive. Had not been driving her, Paul McDonnell earlier in the year, most recently Sylvain Filion, but Free Flying Ticket at times has certainly shown that she's got some good ability for trainer Anthony Beaton. And for a moment there, halfway down the lane, I thought she might be the one that sweeps right on by.
Shadow Play from the Camlock mare Mia Sealster. She was bred by David and Julie Keys of Millgrove, Ontario. And nice credit for that one. Interesting, when you watch horses from age 2 to 3 and whether they progress, whether they stay the same, whether they revert in form. Well, for Mia Culpa, it really was a big turnaround this year. She didn't find the winner's circle at all last year in 12 starts, went 0 for 12. And this year, this is win number 5 and 15.
That's a good point that you bring up. And I don't want to throw a lot of pressure on Mia Culpa here, but last year's 3-year-old pacing Philly Grassroots champion was so much more, and we know what she's gone on to do. So it does show that a lot of these horses develop differently. They're not all going to be rock stars right from the start. Some are going to find the game a little later on, and Mia Culpa could be one of those. Maybe she'll be one of those pacing mares we see here on a weekly basis here at Woodbine Mohawk Park.
And here are the pari-mutuel details. The winner returning 28.70, your exactor at just shy of 200. 20-cent try is solid, Mark, 162, but how about the 20-cent superfecta? Wow, more than $5,000 for a 20-cent ticket. So if you're watching tonight and you were able to tab that, well, let us know. Do some bragging, because kudos, well done to you. And we talked about it beforehand. This was a wide open affair, we thought, and maybe one of the better races from that regard. And here you go.
Absolutely. And when it comes to the multi-leg wagers on tonight's card, the pick 5 is races 1 through 5. So it had been pretty formful through the first 3, but if you got that one and you're live going into the final leg, good luck. And we also kicked off the early pick 4, and we were covering all 4 races from that early pick 4 sequence, races 4 through 7. So a bit of a price to get things kicked off will probably knock a lot of money out of that pool.
3 finals now concluded this evening, and the man of the night has been Louis-Philippe Roy. He's standing by again with Chad.
Celebrates the biggest win of her young career as she captures her Grassroots championship. Louis Roy with his 3rd driving win of the night, a pair of championships to your credit so far. And you know, that second tier, we know Louis can be tricky. What was your plan going in? What were you hoping for?
Well, I actually like my chances with that filly, because unless you really like get her on her toes to leave, she kind of likes those trips just floating off the gate, getting 5th or 6th. So I would say that the old race, I really liked my chance with her. I always believed that she was one of the top there. So she proved it tonight.
And then coming off that last tournament, they're all getting bunched up. Did you think, you know what, I've got lots of pace here?
Oh yeah, definitely. And I saw the 2 up front fighting, Trevor and Doug, so that was just good for me, sitting 3rd over there. So I was really confident with her, like I said, the old race.
Late in the season, I mean, some of them can start to maybe, you know, tire, flatten out. Not the case. She seems to be going the exact opposite direction.
Well, I have to give credit to Jean Tourigny and his team. He always keep them really good, and he's not scared to skip a week if he thinks they're not in good shape to race. So definitely she's as good there tonight that she was 2 months ago, and that's, like I said, credit to him and his team.
Nice steer, Louis.
Thank you.
All right, Louis Roy, Mia Culpa, 151.04 lifetime best in her Grassroots championship.
So that's our first upset winner so far through 3 championships. We're coming to the midway point. Up next, we'll have 2-year-old filly Pacer strutting their stuff. You're watching coverage of the Grassroots finals from Woodbine Mohawk Park.
Dark Horse. Download the app today.
It's Ontario Sire Stakes Grassroots Finals night as we welcome you back to Campbellville, Ontario and Woodbine Mohawk Park. Time to take a look at the leading drivers this year in the program. And Bob McClure, a narrow lead in terms of points and a nice edge though on the money side.
Yeah, he's had a great season as Bob McClure is the leading driver here at Woodbine Mohawk Park, and he could be set up to get that O'Brien Award this season. Sylvain Filion hot on his heels, and you heard in the post-race interview after HP Mama V1, as Chad Roseman asked Sylvain Filion about trying to track down Bob to claim the Lampman Cup, and it's going to be a good battle right through the Superfinals next Saturday to see who is the leading driver this season in the Ontario Sire Stakes.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, and you come into a night like tonight. Bob has been the man this season in the program, but so far tonight, it's been Louis-Philippe Roy with a pair of winners, and he'll be prominent throughout all of the races here this evening. Louis has Chatsu Sealster coming up here at race number 5. Bob McClure will be behind Nightlife Sealster. She was a winner of her semifinal a week ago. But we're going to take a look at the other semifinal winner from that October 1st program, and her name is Amini, the daughter of sports writer trained by Richard Moreau. Used gate speed to work out a trip last week and then was able to convert in the final stages. Here's a look back at that winning effort and the call with Ken Middleton.
5 off the lead. They go to 3/4. Closing up outside comes Amini, and it's Amini with a late rush to win. Amini wins in the center in 1:55.1.
So the filly able to thread the needle last week and get through to win in a 4-across finish. We've already seen some of that tonight. And really, that's what we thought coming into this evening with these grassroots. I mean, we talked about it before. It's the secondary tier behind the gold. I mean that there's not a lot of really talented youngsters here, and they're putting on a good show again for us.
And that's the case. You go through some of these 2-year-old fields for the grassroots finals, and these connections have taken their shots at Grand Circuit races over the last few weeks. I think they're at this moment, they know where they stack up provincially, but they want to take that shot. They've got enough confidence, and then they've got some belief, and I wouldn't be surprised to see some of these pacing fillies that we're going to see in race number 5 potentially take that jump up to the gold. And one thing that we know every single season at the gold level is they start to weed them out a little bit after those first couple of legs. You're not always going to see big fields or multiple divisions of big fields, but here at the grassroots level, it's very competitive, and it shows there isn't that much of a drop off really. But once the best, the top, I should say, of the grassroots, certainly. Stood out, and then they took their shot in the Battle of the Bells with her. So I think she's always shown a ton of ability. We saw her last week there in that elimination replay. She's 13-1 from the rail, but I just go through this whole field and I can make a case for several of them, and that's means we're probably going to get a pretty entertaining affair here.
And it seems like a long time ago now, Mark, but it's fun for us because we remember back to when the baby races were happening here and we were covering them live for COSA-TV. So, you know, watching close, trying to find out who was who early on. And, you know, when you think back to that now to see, you know, this kind of a night where some of those youngsters that you either discounted a little bit back then or that you really liked back then, here they are tonight showing their stuff.
Yeah, it's amazing how much can change just over the course of 3 or 4 months. But you go back to those Friday and Saturday mornings during the month of June and into early July, and some showed flashes, some like you said, you might have just written them off. But that's the beauty of this game. Everybody develops at a different rate, just like athletes. You know, someone's going to peak early, and when you're a kid in middle school, you might be taller than everyone, but they catch up eventually.
Yeah, that happened to me, Mark. For sure. And they caught up to me and passed me. Let's just say that. Let's meet the field now for race number 5. It is our 4th Grassroots final this evening. Number 1, Cyclone Sister. I apologize, got the incorrect graphic here. We'll get that fixed up. Cyclone Sister is the one that we're going to look at here. Jonathan Dury in the driver's seat behind this daughter of Shadow Play from the Nick Galucci barn. This one owned by the Miller Farms of Stouffville.
Here is a mini Trevor Henry for Richard Moreau. Tess Waxman and David Morgan share ownership of this daughter of sports writer. 4 for 11 on the season, 7 top 2 finishes.
Number 3, Chiefs Dream Girl. A good rallying second last week in her elim, 27 seconds on the end. Jody Jameson driving for the trainer, Jack Moiseyev.
CL Sports Extreme. She's spent a bit of time on the trailer. She's been to Quebec, back here to Ontario. Back and forth she's gone. She's had a good season, 4 for 9 on the campaign. It's the Danny Fontana. This would be a great time to get into the win column. 3 top 3 finishes, but winless in 9.
Nightlife Sealster, number 7. She was a semifinal winner 1 week ago, a daughter of Sunshine Beach. Sean Stacy training, Bob McClure driving. They are the tops this year in the OSS standings.
Celia Bayama is number 8, another filly that spent time in Quebec and then back and forth. Richard Moreau training for Bayama Farms. Sylvain Fillion will do the driving. 1 for 5 in grassroots action this season. Celia Bayama.
Each represented again here by number 9. Come on, son. James McDonald on board this Sean Stacy people.
And Shiatsu Sealster completes the field. Louis-Philippe Waugh, could he add another grassroots victory here tonight? Second tier. You have to do it once again from the second tier, but this is a 2-year-old pacing filly that not only has a win at the grassroots level, she also has a runner-up finish in the gold just 3 starts back at Grand River.
So there's a look at the field, and we'll kind of go through them now as we get closer to post. And not surprisingly, the money very evenly spread out in the wagering. 5-2, lukewarm favorite is Chiefs Dream Girl. Gets the benefit of a slightly better post to work with this week. And certainly that 27-second final quarter and the way she was passing horses last week, hard to ignore.
That's it. You want to see them finishing up strong, and she has certainly done that on multiple occasions this season. Jody Jameson drives for trainer Jack Moiseyev. 2 for 5 in 10 tries. That's got a mark of 154, and currently 5-2, but a lukewarm favorite, no doubt about that.
There's a look at number 4, CL Sport Extreme, a daughter of sports writer. Let's talk stallions, Mark. We really focused on them back when we were watching the baby races and speculating on which stallions were going to have those big seasons, those kind of breakout seasons. Some first crop stallions that we've seen this year, but horses that kind of bounced back. I would say Sports Writer was in that category. Shadow Play, his 2-year-old's been very good this season as well in the OSS.
Yeah, those are her second and third, Sports Writer and Shadow Play when it comes to the leading stallions on the pacing side. Better Slate obviously leading the way. I was interested to see how the He's Watchings performed again this season, second group, and we'll get a chance to see a couple of them here in this upcoming race.
All right, we've got our colleague Greg Gangle standing by out trackside watching these fillies in their final preparations prior to post time. Greg, are you noticing anything in the body language that we should take note of?
Well, I'm certainly glad that you asked me that question, Greg, because yes, there is one horse in particular that really caught my eye during post-parade and following post-parade, and that is the 10-horse Shiatsu Sealster, the daughter of State Treasure, fresh off that 5th place finish in the semifinals there last week. But just the body language of her, she's up on the bit. I love the way that she's pacing, and I wouldn't be surprised to see a big effort from her here tonight. You know what, looking at the price, she's going to offer a price based on that 5th place finish, but go back a little bit further. I thought last week was a bit of a clunker for her. She even finished second against the Gold fillies here, so highly competitive at this level. Love the maternal line, State Treasure out of Shiatsu Sealster and Shakai Hanover, so high profile maternal line there as well. First crop of State Treasure, as you mentioned just moments ago, but if any of our horse players are looking for some value, I would take a close look at the 10-horse, that being Shiatsu Sealster on behalf of Adriano Sorella. Louis Waugh co-owns, Chantal Mitchell trains, and obviously Waugh in the bike for breeders of Sealster Farms of Lucan, Ontario. So price shopping, Greg, I would try the 10 horse here in race number 5.
Well, you've got the right driver, that's for sure, Greg. And let's ask you about State Treasurer. You follow the breeding side of the game quite closely, and he was one of the highly anticipated first crop stallions this year. What's your assessment of his first season?
Yeah, I think quite personally, I think he's done a tremendous job. I mean, obviously this one is putting him on the map. There's a few others as well. Didn't breed a big book of mares in his first season, but certainly making a stamp here in the Ontario Sire Stakes program. Looking at this filly here, reminds me a lot of him. Not an overly big horse, but certainly going to be very handy. And you know what, that makes a lot of sense because this filly was second at Grand River. State Treasurer, very well known to have a great turn of foot, especially on the half-mile track. A 3-time Molson Pace champion. He was just as good on a big track. So not surprising to see that quick turn of foot on the smaller tracks, passed down to his sons and daughters. So to answer your question, I think he's done a great job. Another stallion that's done a great job is Control the Moment for the first crop sires as well. All
right, so Greg, going upset shopping here at 18-1. Mark, quickly as they're moving in behind the gate, who do you like?
I'm going with the 7 Nightlife Sealster. She's got a Grand Circuit win under her belt. She captured a division of the Eternal Cam Nation back at the end of August. I think this is a filly with a ton of potential. Goes for the top OSS barn right now of the Stacys. Bob McClure sticks with her.
All righty, and just to be different, I like that filly as well, but I'll go to a mini. And we'll see if this one can duplicate that winning effort in the semifinal a week ago. Gets a different driver tonight, though. Trevor Henry will be on board from post 2. It's the 2-year-old filly Pacers in the Grassroots Championship, moving up behind the gate.
In the season, Jody Jameson's been a nice fit with her. She is the 2-to-1 choice, 5-2 on the 7 Nightlife Sealster, one of the Grassroots semifinal winners here last week. It's a group of 10 for this 5th race. It's post time. Starting gate picks up speed. Horses set for a start. Here they come. And they're off. Good beginning inside for Amini. Center of the racetrack, Our Little Miracle. Outside of them is Nightlife Sealster third. Splitting through horses early to claim fourth is Shiatsu Sealster. Taken back fifth, Chief's Dream Girl. Sixth away, Cyclone Sister. Seventh outside, Drive CL Sports Extreme. Then Siri Blue Chip, Celia Biama. The early trailer is Come On Sun. Rolling into that first turn, Our Little Miracle to the front for Cullen. Amini pocket sitting. Third is Nightlife Sealster. Then Shiatsu Sealster. First panel 28 2/5. To the backstretch. Our Little Miracle and Cullen on a 2-length lead. Amini rides the pocket spot. Nightlife Sealster third. Shiatsu Sealster fourth. 15 inside to Chief's Dream Girl. And Cyclone Sister from sixth. It's a length and a half more to CL Sports Extreme. Then Siri Blue Chip scooting up the rail. Celia Biama starts a move from 9th. And trailing 10th. Shooting through is Come On Sun. Field almost at the midway point. And they've chased Our Little Miracle there in 57-1. Pretty sensible speed for her. And she'll take that lead to the final turn. Amini's in the pocket spot first over Shiatsu Sealster. Nightlife Sealster fourth inside. On cover, Chief's Dream Girl's in a good spot. Second over from in fifth, 4 off the lead. Then outside from 6, Cyclone Sister. 7th buried at the cones. That is Siri Blue Chip. In the back 3, CL Sports Extreme. Come On Sun. And Celia Biama trailing. 3/4 of a mile passed by. Our Little Miracle there, 124-4. As the speed quickens in that third quarter, ripping off cover comes Chief's Dream Girl now. Pocket sitter Amini looking for racetrack. Rolling up late is Cyclone Sister. 3 across as they come into the final 1/8 of the mile, and Cyclone Sister explodes off cover for Jury. And she's got 2 lengths on them here in deep stretch. Cyclone Sister to pull off a 14-1 upset in her Grassroots Championship. She'll win by a length and a half. Chief's Dream Girl second. Amini shot through late to get third. Then Our Little Miracle in 153-2.
First 2 Grassroots.
So another off-the-pace winner here. The front end not holding up very well this evening overall. And Cyclone Sister, the daughter of Shadow Play, 14-1, a little bit of a head-scratcher. Was good. I mean, definitely made a nice middle half move last week. Just tired a little bit late and able to flip off cover tonight. Plenty of pace in that final quarter.
Yeah, Jonathan Jury, as we talked about, gets the drive for the first time behind Cyclone Sister. Bob McClure driven her in every start up until this point. He obviously stuck with Nightlife Sealster, who just had no room in the stretch. Sat third along the rail, and then they came into the lane, was just behind a wall of horses. But Cyclone Sister, did she ever just shoot on by here? She won divisions in the first 2 legs of the Grassroots back in July. So July 10th and 17th. She had a win here at Mohawk Park and then a win at Grand River Raceway. That's where she really caught my eye. But after that, she really just, you know, she had nice finishes. She was in the money, but she hadn't got back into the winner's circle. Well, she picked the right time to get her done once again.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, Chief's Dream Girl sets up that second over trip. She kicked home, as you would expect, but this filly just simply paced around her and drew off. She brought her A game tonight, and you know, when you get to this time of year too, Mark, things start to factor in, like change in temperature, and some horses get better as you move into this time of year, get sharp again. Who knows? You find these things out after the fact, but coming into tonight, you know, you could certainly see her being a player, but a lot of people obviously didn't see her winning it this way, and very impressive over the final 1/8 of a mile. So Nick Gallucci and the Millar Farms team up here. Jonathan Drury in the driver's seat, and a great time, as you mentioned, to click for the 3rd win of the season.
Real strong performance. Now my next question is anybody going to want to be on the front in the next final? That is 4 finals now. The front's not holding up at all, despite the fact, going to 3/4, some of those leaders have looked like they've got a lot in the tank, and they just have not been able to sustain that power in the lane.
Yeah, you're right. Really no excuse there for the pace setter. You couldn't ask for more. Landed on the lead easily. Very reasonable fractions for this level of competition, but it's tough to do. And I think it's safe to say we're noticing a bit of a bias tonight, and it'll be really interesting to watch that over the next few races and see how it plays out from here. Nick Gallucci, one of those young trainers that, you know, wins like this are certainly a big feather in his cap.
Yeah, they certainly are. And, you know, over the last year or so, partnering up with Millar Farms, and that's been a good relationship that they've got going, and especially getting the youngsters going and having one like this come through certainly gives everybody involved with those connections a big confidence boost heading into the winter as they'll look to develop a few more youngsters that could maybe come through in spots like this, and look forward to what could be a real good sophomore campaign for this daughter of Shadow Play.
So some nice parimutuel returns getting set to come back here once again. A 14-1 winner, and so far through the first 2 legs of the early pick 4 tonight, it is setting up for a massive payout in that regard. So there's JD heading up to the microphone. We'll take a quick look at those prices. $31.40 on the nose. The early pick 5 tonight, a good one. 20 center at a little over $1,657. 20-cent super in that race pays over $360. So again, Jonathan Drury standing by. Chad Morozema will be getting some winning words from him next.
Cyclone Sister pulls off the upset here in her Grassroots Championship. Jonathan Drury picking up a live catch drive here for the Millar Farms and Nick Gallucci. And I mean, always sweeter when you just pick up a drive you weren't really expecting to have.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I didn't really know a whole lot about her going in, but was hoping I could map out a good trip and see what happens.
And you did. You mapped out a great trip. But what were you thinking initially when you saw the half? That was a pretty cheap half that came up.
Yeah, it was pretty cheap, but my filly felt really good on Jody's back, and the further we went around the turn, the more she started grabbing on, and, you know, when we come off the turn, I tipped her over, and she did the rest.
Now, when you look at her lines, I mean, she doesn't really show a bad race at all season long, and despite that, she's a 14-1 long shot. Going in, when you looked at the lines, were you thinking, you know what, as long as I can get a nice trip, I can be there?
I thought so. If you look 4 or 5 starts back, you know, she raced in the golds and paced 52, come 27 on the end, and it looked like if they maybe raced a little or I got towed up into it like I did, she'd have a really good shot.
I know you'd love to be right back here after the next race as you and Gallucci are going to team up again with Mikey Mass. He's been so good all season long. What's the key to him?
He's been really well. He seems to stall a touch in the last turn, and last week I kind of ended up on bad cover, and then he got a little crooked on me, and once he straightened out, he trotted home strong, and I was real happy with the way he raced, and I think he should be good in here.
Nice job, Jonathan. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, there's Jonathan Drury. Cyclone sister pulls off that 14-1 upset in her Grassroots Championship.
So we are halfway home tonight in Grassroots action. 2 favorites to kick it off and 2 long shots since then. What's in store next as we move into the back half of tonight's coverage? We'll find out momentarily. You're watching those Grassroots finals here on COSA-TV.
COSA, the Central Ontario Standardbred Association, proudly serving Ontario horse people with integrity and accountability. Collaborative, supportive, helping to ensure a vibrant harness racing industry. Lifetime membership is free and there are many benefits. Become a new member today. COSA, representing the interests of horse people racing at Ontario racetracks. To find out more, visit cosaonline.com.
Here's a look at the scene here from the tarmac location at Woodbine Mohawk Park. We're set up just under the overhang here outside the trackside bar. Unfortunately, not the beehive of activity it typically would be on a night like tonight due to the COVID-19 circumstances that we continue to play under. Just a very limited number of spectators here again. So we hope you're enjoying the coverage tonight, wherever you are tuning in, and we're hearing from people all over North America and worldwide for that matter. So thank you again for joining us, and if you're just joining us again, let us know where you are watching in from tonight. We switch gears a little bit here in the Grassroots, back on the trot for race number 6, and time to take a look at the OSS standings this year in terms of leading trot stallions. And not real surprising when you see the names atop this category.
No, not at all. Muscle Mass has just had an incredible season, though, and it's the lead that you see right there in the earnings. Just another huge campaign. Cadabra, as always, is going to be right up there near the top. But Royalty for Life, we've already seen a winner for him earlier tonight. So, those top 3 are always going to be in the mix. Wheelin' and Dealin', Archangel as well, cannot be overlooked. It's competitive enough, but Muscle Mass just having an incredible 2020.
And Muscle Mass, the sire of Loved by the Masses, who will occupy post 4 here tonight in this upcoming Grassroots final for the 3-year-old colt and gelding trotters. And this one comes in after a pair of consecutive victories. Mikey Mass, next door neighbor, he happens to be the point leader in the Grassroots division here this season as well. But Loved by the Masses, we mentioned him, 2 wins in a row coming in, 4 for 11 this season after going 5 for 7 last season. He's co-owned and trained by Ed Piccone Jr., and earlier tonight, Greg Gangle caught up with him.
Has had a great career to date. He's going to line up from post 4 here with trainer Ed Piccone Jr. Had 4 wins from 11 starts this year, 5 for 7 last year. Obviously, this horse has given you and your family a lot of thrill.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Tell us about the early developments of him. I believe you said he was born and foaled in PEI, family connection there.
Yeah.
Obviously out of a Northern Bailey mare. At what point did he come east into your barn?
As a 2-year-old, as a yearling, I should say.
Okay.
He came from PEI, and I broke him in Peterborough, and I train horses at Hawkinsville, Georgia every year. So I took him down as a 2-year-old, and his results from last year turned out pretty good.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Was there a point in time when he was training down where you said to your cousins, wow, we have something here?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I trained with Paul Walker last year and this year. And, yeah, you could tell that he was going to be a real deal. Yeah.
Yeah, certainly a nice horse. You raced in the good times and obviously a heavy favorite going into this evening. What kind of week did he have?
Perfect. He's sharp and he's ready to go. Keep my fingers and toes crossed.
Will this be the last start of the season for him, or?
Oh, no, I think I'll probably give him a couple of weeks off and I'll race him. Yeah, he's going to race all winter probably. He's coming for, so he's only had 11 starts. And I haven't, different races were the Classic.
Okay.
Some of my family were kind of liking to go into the final.
What are the chances PEI's watching tonight?
Well, they'll be watching. Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Well, can I say to my cousins in PEI, I hope your turkey tastes a lot better after the race.
Good luck.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Yeah, great to see a guy like that, in these types of races. And, he does a nice job with this horse, you can tell. And, limited number of starts. So he's got him, I think, fresh and ready to go here tonight. What do you expect? It's another good race where there are several competitors for that win spot.
Well, 2-1 right now is not a bad price, really, on Loved by the Masses. I think he is obviously the horse to beat, the one that I'm going to go with. He's looking to double up. He won the Grassroots final a year ago. Gets that opportunity to repeat. He and Mayhem Hanover, who we'll see in the 3-year-old pacing colt and gelding final, the only two of last year's 2-year-old winners to come back and have a chance to repeat. But for me, Loved by the Masses, he held his own in the good times, 2 consecutive wins. If he behaves, and he has made a couple of miscues late in miles, but if he's on top of his game, and he appears to be so, he should come through. And there's a good look at Mike Saftic, veteran reinsman. I'm sure he just loves sitting behind this 3-year-old.
Yeah, it's got to be fun for a guy like Mike at this point in his career. He doesn't get the busy lineup of drives that he used to, but what a career he has enjoyed. And, he's at the point now where, I'm sure getting behind a nice horse like this in these types of races are a lot of fun for him. And he's got a big contender here, favored right now at 3-2. Sylvain Filion will be looking for his second Grassroots final of the evening. And his hopes pinned here on number 1, Ongoing Royalty, a son of royalty for life. Ben Bergeron, the trainer, has already clicked for a winner as well, and teaming up with Filion earlier on the card. This guy, a model of consistency, 3 wins, 7 top 3 finishes, and 11 this season.
Awesome Dabra is the 2 horse. Chris Christophorou for owner-trainer Gary Lance. Awesome Dabra's got 2 Grassroots wins on the season, 4 for 11 overall. They make a bridal change here tonight, and I think he is one to certainly consider.
Mikey Mass, number 3 in the field, one of several sired by Muscle Mass in this field tonight. Jonathan Drury, he'll be looking to come right back for trainer Nick Gallucci. They team up with this one, who's 5 for 11 and has 8 on the board finishes this year.
There was a look at Loved by the Masses, Ed Piccone Jr. That turkey would taste pretty good tomorrow if he can win here tonight.
And there's another son of Muscle Mass, Ripped and Ready is his name. Jody Jamieson doing the driving, a resounding win in a semifinal a week ago.
Louis-Philippe Waugh, can he make it 3 Grassroots final wins? He drives number 6 Kanagami Coco for trainer Danny Fontaine.
Lexus Marcus, number 7, a son of Amigo Hall. Trevor Henry will be on board. Trevor co-owns this one with Norm Dudston and Dave Hudson. Shannon Henry, Trevor's wife, does the training.
Paul McDonnell hoping to be Johnny on the spot here as he'll pick up the drive on Fitbit for Bob McIntosh. 0 for 6 in the Grassroots this year, but he's one that always seems to collect a check.
The Ryer family sending out number 9, Charmbro Prince, good-looking chestnut son of royalty for life. John and Randy share ownership. John trains, Bob McClure will steer.
And Blue Cupertino will complete the field. This is a son of Cadabra racing for the McNairs. 1 for 11 on the season. He's got 6 top 3 finishes. Was 3rd to his elimination. Fired out and got to the lead just after the quarter and ultimately sat in the 2-hole where he ended up finishing 3rd. But Blue Cupertino from the 2nd tier, maybe an off the pace approach here tonight, could set up for him to surprise.
Yeah, and we heard Ed talk about Thanksgiving, so we want to wish a happy Thanksgiving to all of our Canadian viewers. It's Thanksgiving weekend, And we've got a little work to do before we start thinking about maybe that turkey dinner tomorrow. We're just halfway through tonight's coverage, and it has been a lot of fun so far. Highly entertaining racing, and I think we're seeing a little bit of a bias in terms of how the track is playing, Mark. So how does that factor in how you would play this upcoming sixth?
Well, I think Loved by the Masses is the best. I put him up top. There's no reason for me to believe that he won't be on top of his game, but you go through his last couple of starts and there's been moves in the middle half to the lead. He's led them into the lane, and he's been able just to continue marching on. In fact, he won his elimination by just over 7 lengths. He absolutely crushed them, but we haven't seen anybody turn for home on the front yet, be able to hold on. So it'll be interesting to see if it'll change here in this race, if there's a horse that could do it, if there's one that I think has just got such a major ability that he might even just be another gear better than the rest in this group. I think it could be Loved by the Masses, and obviously the betting public thinks that. He's now been hammered down to 3-5.
There's another son of Muscle Mass who, like Loved by the Masses, won with authority last week in his semifinal. Ripped and Ready simply jogged by almost 5 lengths on that occasion. He's won half of his 10 this year, so hard not to give him some consideration. Should there be that much of a difference in the odds?
That's a good point. I think you look at all the lines from Ripped and Ready. He's been great this season, and will not be a surprise if he can come through, but I don't know. I think Loved by the Masses, what he's seen from him, there've just been some real strong victories. There's been that opportunity to see him take on some Grand Circuit level and hold his own and get a check there in the good times. I think that just really separates them. But another horse I think we should keep an eye on, and the betting public may have tipped their hand a little bit, was Awesome Dabra, who was taking a little bit of early money. He's now sliding back up. He's up to 12-1. Here's one that was 20-1 on the morning line, but he took some early money. They took him down to Lexington to compete in the Kentucky Commonwealth Series. That essentially is the grassroots of the Kentucky Sire Stakes. He finished 4th in that final, but he did have a victory in one of the legs. He had a couple wins there south of the border. Returns here to Woodbine Mohawk Park. Second start since being back. Maybe he is somebody to take into consideration.
Well, you talk about Lexington. They just concluded the yearling sale there. And of course, they've got the Kentucky Futurity to wrap up the Grand Circuit action there tomorrow. Greg Angle, I'm sure you were keeping a close eye on the results from Lexington. What were your thoughts overall on the sale down there?
Yeah, great question, Greg. In these COVID times, you really don't know what to expect. But you know what, from day 1 right through till day 5, I thought the sale was strong, considering I know the numbers speak for themselves when they say, the sale is down a little bit, roughly 15 to 20%. But I'm sure a lot of breeders and consigners going into the sale, if you would have told them prior to the sale that would be the outcome, I'm sure that they would take it all day long. I think a lot of people went into the sale really not knowing what to expect. The thoroughbred sale at Keeneland, much of the same, down roughly about 20%. So across the board, I thought that the sale was very strong. Obviously, the good horses always sell, those top-end horses. We had the first crops of Walner this year down in Lexington. They sold extremely well, but the Ontario sired market sold extremely well, considering that a lot of Canadians could not venture down to Lexington, Kentucky. The Cadabras, the Bettor's Delights, the Muscle Masses, the Sports Writers, etc., all seem to perform well in that sales ring. So, Greg, you never really know what to expect during these times, but I think a lot of breeders got to be quite pleased overall.
And of course, we'll see the Ontario sired yearlings en masse next weekend. And we'll be talking a little bit more about that later in the show, with different formats that we're going to see this season, not just one yearling sale happening this year in Ontario like we have seen in years past. And again, we'll give a little bit more information on that later on in the show. But we've got some more business to take care of here. We've got trotters moving up behind the starting gate next for the 3-year-old colt and gelding grassroots final, again chasing a $75,000 purse. Loved by the Masses is being loved by the masses right now at 3-5. We'll see if he can justify those odds and come through with a second consecutive grassroots championship. He is the defending champ. He won it last year at age 2. Once again, Ken Middleton has the race call next.
Driver Saftic, race 6. The gate swings off the turn and into the stretch for the 6th race. Here they come. Field picks up speed. And they're off. Good start for Lexus Marcus. Traveling out with Ripped and Ready showing speed. Kanagami Coco splits the pair of them, and then it's back to Love by the Masses. Inside to Mikey Mass, then Ongoing Royalty, tracked by Awesome Dabber from the 2nd tier beginning Blue Cupertino, lined up just ahead of Fitbit. Early trailer Charmbro Prince into that first turn. Lexus Marcus, that long shot, was on the lead, though Ripped and Ready rolls right by. Ripped and Ready takes the top in 28-2. Back into second, Lexus Marcus 3 lengths in arrears. Kanagami Coco third, Love by the Masses fourth. Fifth inside trots Mikey Mass, then Ongoing Royalty, tracked by Awesome Dabra. Back 3 in the field, they are Blue Cupertino, Fitbit, and trailer Charmbo Prince. On the move is Love by the Masses. Saftic right lines that favorite now, and Love by the Masses trots up alongside Ripped and Ready. Ripped and Ready at the rail, Love by the Masses outside second, half in 57-1, and now Love by the Masses shoots to the lead and takes the field to the final turn. Ripped and Ready back into second, Kanagami Coco gets into gear third outside, moving up on the cover from in fourth now Mikey Mass, trapped in, shuffled fifth Lexus Marcus, sixth outside to Ongoing Royalty, with the field in seventh is Awesome Dabra, the others are gapped out. 3/4 up next, Love by the Masses on a lead of just over a length now. Kanagami Coco rallies to second. Ripped and Ready's in the pocket, spot third, awaiting some racetrack. Tearing off cover, Mikey Mass, 3/4 in 125-2. Loved by the Masses with the lead. Ripped and Ready's got a lane now for Jameson. Ripped and Ready trying to rally as Loved by the Masses digs in. Loved by the Masses, Ripped and Ready on the outside coming to the wheel. Still there though, Loved by the Masses a full length in front, and Loved by the Masses repeats in the Grassroots Championships. It's Loved by the Masses to win over Ripped and Ready. Third was Mikey Mass. Up for fourth was Awesome Dabra in 153-4.
Loved by the Masses makes it a second consecutive Grassroots Championship final. Gets his 5th win of the season. What a nice trotter, Mark McKelvey. We got a nice look at the close-up action in the home stretch. A good one on his back and Ripped and Ready that had every chance to take a shot at this guy and could not get by the wheel of the eventual winner.
Well, like I said before the race, I thought if there was going to be one horse to finally break the bias, it would be Loved by the Masses, and he does just that. Doesn't get that separation quite like he did a week ago, but a great-looking performance. He matches his career best, 153-4. Solid back half speed there, considering he had to make that march to the top in the second quarter, clearing to the front just as they entered the last turn, and goes on to get the job done for his 5th win of the season, 10th win of his career, and he now is a 2-time Grassroots champion.
So certainly flexing his muscles. Sire Muscle Mass, the top 3 finishers in this final, with Ripped and Ready in the runner-up spot, Mikey Mass coming on for 3rd, and even Kanagami Coco, we have to give him, I think, high marks. That was a difficult trip scenario on a night like tonight, and you know, he had that unenviable task of trying to go first over against Loved by the Masses, and he hangs in for 4th in a very, very good mile.
Yeah, not a bad performance at all. They'll take that. Certainly will the Connections. 4th in his elimination, gets a 4th in the final. So again, that was something that I think if he came in for those Connections, they could probably live with that, considering on paper the 2 best horses on paper, I thought, were Loved by the Masses, Ripped and Ready. I guess 3 best, Mikey Mass as well, and that's how they came in. 1, 2, 3.
And nice to hear from Ed Piccone that they're going to continue racing the guy throughout the winter season. He's turning 4, and by all accounts, he's going to be a really nice addition to the older trotting ranks here locally.
That's what I was thinking when we were listening to that interview that Greg Gangle conducted with Ed Piccone a little earlier on tonight, and he mentioned that they're going to race him right through the winter. Right away, you start thinking, okay, where is he going to stack up? And I think he's going to have, obviously, the ability to be right there, you know, and race at a high level in some overnight events here. And I also think for these Connections, they may want to take into consideration, where is he as a 4-year-old? Is there more there? Is he going to continue to develop? And, you know, there are some 4-year-old specific races. I know it would be a big step up coming out of the Grassroots, but it is not a step up that's impossible.
The thing you have to love about him is the versatility. You can do almost whatever you want with him. Occasionally, he's been known to make a break late in the mile. That's cost him a couple of times. But overall, just a real professional, obviously ultra-talented racehorse that seems to be getting better and better. And yeah, I think there's still a lot of upside for this guy, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what he can do as a 4-year-old. I think he's at the very least going to be one that'll work up to be a preferred trotter here locally.
That's exactly what I was thinking. For Mike Saftic, we talked about teaming up with this trotter all season long once again, and being able to click. It'd be interesting, and we'll hear his comments in just a moment more than likely. His feelings on this trotter, my guess is this one is a pretty special one to him, but also the fact, and you can see the carrots, they're certainly a nice addition to the winner's circle. But I'd also think for Mike coming into tonight, he'd been watching those races. Where was his confidence level turning for home, considering no one else had been able to hold up on the front, but he knew what he had here with Loved by the Masses and certainly got that response.
Yeah, and when you looked at it on paper coming into the race, it looked like Mikey Bass, ripped and ready, could be very competitive and give this guy a challenge in the stretch, but that wasn't the case tonight. He really was in a league of his own, and a thoroughly dominant victory tonight by Loved by the Masses, as he is now a 2-time OSS Grassroots champion. We're going to head over trackside here in a moment. The winning connections are assembling for the photographs, and we'll hear from them in a moment. Our colleague Monique Veg will be taking over the winner circle duties for this upcoming contest. So in the meantime, let's take a look at prices. And Mark, after a couple of long shots, we're back to a winning favorite.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Loved by the Masses returns just $3. That exacta for $2 pays $8.70. And you look at the pick 3, though, you get $81 back for a 20-cent ticket after getting a couple nice prices in the opening 2 legs.
And we're now well into that early pick 4 wager. One more leg to go. Even with this favorite winning, I think we're set up for a nice payout in that one as well. Nice to see veteran Mike Saftic getting back into the win column in a stakes final, and he's over in the Winback Farms winner circle. We'll send it over there next for some winning words from both Mike and Monique Veg.
Here with winning driver Mike Saftic, Loved by the Masses, making it 3 in a row. Ultra impressive performance once again when getting to the front end. What did you make of him today? Obviously, he impressed us. Did he impress you?
Well, he's an impressive horse, yeah. But I was a little nervous going in this final. They were going to race it hard, and I thought I'd be racing him off the pace. The earlier races have been coming off the pace. I didn't really want to get stuck on the front end going for actions, but I got away good, and he made the big move, and he was good at the wire.
This is someone that you know very well, pretty much driven him in almost all of his starts. This one did win the Grassroots final at 2. How much did he improve from 2 to obviously 3 in his sophomore campaign?
He was a real good colt last year at 2, and he kind of had a slow start, so he missed the golds. And then this year, I'm thinking, he'll be a gold colt. And COVID hit, and he had a slow start, so, we were back in the Grassroots. And he only tried the 1 gold. He got sick, so we finished up in the Grassroots, and it worked out.
I do have to ask about some of those miscues. I mean, it's not something we've seen out of him all that much, but it has been something that's happened in a few of his most recent starts. What do you custom those to? Is anything in particular, or just greenness? Or
No, he's not a breaker usually. Once you get him going, he's good, but I lost him twice in the lane. Once I thought maybe I was just chasing him a little too much, but the second time he'd come back and race back in 5 days, and the track was hard. I think he was just pinching a little bit, but then he bounced back the next week, and he was good again today.
Well, thank you so much for your time, and congrats with that victory.
Thanks very much.
Once again, Loved by the Masses in 153 and 4, taking the OSS Grassroots final for their 3-year-old trotting colts and geldings.
Mike Saftic, the native of Sudbury, Ontario, who has made his home in this part of the province now for decades, and one of the top drivers on the former Ontario Jockey Club and more recently Woodbine Entertainment Group circuit, and still doing well and getting a victory here with Loved by the Masses. As expected, delivers as the chalk in race number 6. We'll take another commercial break, and when we come back, 3-year-old colt and gelding pacers will square off next.
Harness Racing Update is the sport's most comprehensive and timely news source. HRU covers the sport from all angles with news, features, photography, opinion, and analysis of racing. Also, HRU covers breeding and sales, as well as industry stories you need to know. It's all delivered by a deep, diverse, and talented team of writers and photographers. And the best news is that it's free to subscribe. Subscribe to HRU today for free at harnessracingupdate.com and see what everyone is talking about.
Hey guys. Hey Chris. Hey Chris.
Where does he put the horse at?
Are we doing this bike thing again?
And welcome back to Woodbine Mohawk Park as we continue our live coverage tonight on COSA-TV of the Grassroots Championships. A total of $600,000 given out in purse money tonight. 8 championships finals, $75,000 each, and we have 3 left to go this evening. The 3-year-old colt and gelding pacers coming up next. And we take a look now, Mark, at the leading stallions this year in the OSS. On the pacing side, not surprising as he's been many times before. Better's Delight tops the standings.
Oh, of course, Better's Delight just don't even include his top performer, Tall Dark Stranger, who has not competed in the OSS this season. Of course, sports writer, once again, he's always up near the top. Shadow Play, Sunshine Beach, and He's Watching. Second group for He's Watching, and he comes in 5th currently in the OSS Pacing Stallion standings.
Better's Delight, the sire of Better Buckle Up and Captivate Hanover. Just a couple of the horses we'll see in the field here, as well as the wild card. So going into this Grassroots Championship, Better Buckle Up was one of the 2 semifinal winners from a week ago. And we're going to take a look back at that replay now. That was a hotly contested event on this night. Nick Gallucci trains this guy for the Millar Farms. We're going to pick it up on the last turn. James McDonald has got him 3rd and sitting up close to the pace. A quickening final half pace. Here's the call with Ken.
1 and McNair buzz the tower in 27-1 as they come into the stretch. Mayhem Hanover leads by 3 lengths. Second to the outside comes Better Buckle Up. YS Matisse back into 3rd. Late Speed Sports Obsession 4th now. Deep stretch. Mayhem Hanover coming to the line. Still there on a lead of 2 lengths. Late Speed from Better Buckle Up, who's coming on. Mayhem Hanover sleepwalking late and outside. Looking for the upset there. Better Buckle Up in 150-4. It appeared in the final stride.
That's a big final half, and he had a lot of ground to make up. He was 3rd, Mark. He was up close turning for home, but at the midway point of the stretch, still had a good 2 to 3 lengths to make up on Mayhem Hanover, and he did it.
Yeah, he did it just right there at the line. Just those huge, powerful strides. Late, you wonder if Mayhem Hanover maybe gets a little lost, or they wonder, oh, we might be there, and gets picked off right at the line. I think these horses that are going to swear off here, specifically the top performers, are very talented 3-year-old pacers that I think would hold their own at the gold level, and that I think are going to go on and be some hard knockers here locally. But Better Buckle Up. That was quite the performance. James McDonald on that night, I think he had 3 wins, and the average margin of victory was actually ahead. He had a win, 2 wins by a nose and a win by a head, but hey, they don't tell you how much you won by, just that you won, and he'll look for Better Buckle Up to repeat here tonight.
Yeah, the connections of Better Buckle Up already with the Grassroots win this evening, so they'll be looking to double up, and they've got a very good post to work with here. Another young trainer that certainly is glad to be in big races like this and has to be excited about his prospects tonight is Jared Bako, who sends out number 7 National Sport. Greg Gangle caught up with him earlier tonight for his thoughts.
National Sport is going to line up from post 7 here in race number 7, the OSS Grassroots Final for 3-year-old pacing colts and geldings. Jared Bako, National Sport, post 7. Jared, got to be thrilled with last week's elimination victory in 51 and change.
Yeah, he's been real good his last 3 starts. Like, he win 3 starts back in 50 first over, and we were really, really happy with him. And then the start in between was just a good tightener for him, and he bounced back really well.
What was your comparison with him last year when you got the colt compared to this year? How much has he matured and grown up?
He didn't really grow up much. He just, the time off did him well. He come back a little stronger, and he's just a medium-sized horse. He never really grew up.
Okay. What are your thoughts coming into tonight?
Honestly, I don't think first over's his trip. He's win first over the last 2 times he was first over, but I'd really like to see him on a helmet till about the head of lane. I think he'll give us a good kick.
What kind of week did he have?
Very good week. Trained up very sharp.
Okay, good luck.
All right, thanks, Greg.
All right, and there's a look at National Sport, post 7 for him. Jared likes his chances, and why not? He was a solid winner, certainly a week ago. And you got the red-hot hands of Louis-Philippe Bois looking for his 3rd Grassroots win tonight.
Well, we already saw the first elimination. That was the other elimination that National Sport took. Margin of victory, and that one was a neck. So we had some real good finishes. And on paper, this was probably the final I was looking forward to the most. I think you can make a case for several in here, and I know that we've said that a few times here tonight. But you go through the past performances for all these horses here, and they've all had flashes. They've all had their moments in the sun at different times. A few of them, though, just racing at a higher level right now, and I think it sets up for what should be a very action-packed contest, and one that I don't think we'll see any sort of blowout winner here. I expect a great finish once again.
All right, here they are making their way out of their assigned stalls in the race paddock. Jonathan Drury looking to continue what's been a good night for him and capture his 2nd Grassroots Championship. He's on board Captivate Hanover, one of 3 sons of Bettor's Delight in the field. Sean Stacey, the leading trainer in the OSS program this season, will be sending out this starter from post position number 4. Moments ago, we saw Mayhem Hanover in his stall. The national season's record holder on a half-mile track this year by virtue of his 151-4 victory a while back at Flamborough Downs. But I think equally as good on the big track. And you wonder, did he just maybe fall asleep a little bit late in the mile last week?
That's what I potentially chalked that one up to, considering how good he was at Flamborough 2 starts back, and it looked like he had that win wrapped up a week ago. And hey, you get picked off. That won't be the case here tonight. I don't think there'll be any falling asleep here in the final. Mayhem Hanover, of course, did race in the Pepsi North America Cup back on August 29th. He was 9th in the final. He got into the final with a 3rd place finish in his elimination. And again, last year, took the Grassroots final. He was the champion at 2. He then went right into the Breeders' Crown and got a 5th place check in the final. So he's always had that ability to step up, but he's got to come through here tonight and beat the ones that he's been battling with most throughout here 2020.
A good look at him heading out for Team McNair. It's time for the introductions of the 3-year-old colt and gelding pacers in tonight's Grassroots Championship. Number 1 is Twin B French Toast. This one, a son of Sunshine Beach, Richard Moreau, does the training. He's won 4 of his 12 this year, 7 on the board finishes, and a sparkling 150-3 record taken earlier this season.
Sports Obsession had a fantastic 2-year-old campaign where he made nearly $200,000. He's raced at the grassroots level here at age 3 for Jody and Stephanie Jameson, 2 for 4 in the grassroots, 2 victories and 14 tries this season, so both wins at the grassroots level.
A winner in his semi-final a week ago. Better buckle up. James McDonald on board for the trainer Nick Galucci and the Miller Farms.
Captivate Hanover we'll get a look at in a moment. There is number 5 Sundown Kid for Bob McIntosh. Trevor Henry drives, was 5th in the point standings. He's got 7 top 3 finishes in 10 tries this season.
He's at 8-1, 5-2 on number 6 Mayhem Hanover. Just picked off in the final strides in his elimination a week ago.
Number 7 National Sport, the other elimination winner, got it by a neck. That was his 2nd win in 9 tries this season. Races for young trainer Jared Bako, Louis-Philippe Bois, as we already talked about, having a great night.
The wild card, he had a 2-race win streak snapped in his elimination a week ago, and thus you're getting a vastly inflated price tonight of 12-1.
Pulls it on. Sealster is as consistent as they come. He starts from the far outside. Bob McClure driving for trainer Don Lindsay. They go with the open bridle here tonight. 2 wins in 12 starts, but always right there hitting the board.
And a second starter from the Richard Moreau stable is Y.S. Mathis, the son of sports writer. Made $250,000 last season at age 2. This campaign not quite as lucrative. He is a 2-time winner, a little over $36,000 banked so far this season. Wild card, the point leader in the division, but as we've seen earlier tonight in a few of the races, just because you're the point leader overall doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be the favorite in the final.
No, that's a very good point that you bring up. You could have a real good season. A lot of the times it means you showed up each and every week racing in these grassroots legs. There was 5 legs, and then of course the semi-final. He had 5 wins in those 6 grassroots tries, so it was an incredible campaign. And this week though, it's a different driver, Travis Cullen, because Doug McNair of course will stick with Mayhem Hanover.
Let's talk handicapping here. It's another good betting board. Mayhem Hanover 7-5. Public willing to forgive and forget that loss last week.
They certainly are, and I think they look at his lines and they see starts in the Sun Beach somewhere, the Simcoe, the Pepsi North America Cup. So he, for a month straight there, was racing at the Grand Circuit level. I don't think anyone's really holding that loss last week against him, so he's getting a ton of support. But I don't think there's that much really separating him from those that are very close to him on the board right now.
There's Twin B French Toast. I think if there's a long shot that's got a realistic chance, if things go his way, it could be this guy. You get the Richard Moreau, Sylvain Filion combination here. He's proven earlier in the season he's capable of winning in those 150 time ranges, and he's done it before, and 18-1, just simply getting overlooked here. Tough post cost him last week.
Yeah, it definitely did. And 1 for 4 at the grassroots level this season is Twin B French Toast. You just go through this entire field, Greg, and you go down the page, consistent as they come. And I think because of that, if we ever did see a real big upset winner, it'd be one of those that you'd ultimately go back and go, yeah, you know, you couldn't write them off. I think that's how deep of a field this is.
Yeah, we got to look at the son of sports writer a moment ago, National Sport. What a year it's been for sports writer. A stallion that has really made a name for himself, obviously, over the years in the provincial program. But I think it's safe to say in the last couple of seasons, we'll bring in Greg Gangle again, you know, with horses like Jimmy Freight, of course, and then this year performers like Beaumont Hanover that are, you know, they're Grand Circuit caliber type horses when they're at their best. That it's been a resurgence of sorts, I would say, Greg, for sports writer.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and speaking of sports writer, we're going to see Mayhem Hanover here. You know, get set up behind the gate here in a few moments. But yeah, sports writer, he's made a name for himself not only in the provincial program, but he's even elevated himself into the Grand Circuit. You know, you talked about the likes of Jimmy Freight. Beaumont Hanover's done a great job here in the provincial program. Second only to you know, Tattoo Artist, who's done an unbelievable job as well. And you know, looking at this race, Greg, Mayhem Hanover, I think that he's the horse to beat here. It wasn't that long he was racing in the Pepsi NA Cup. He just got picked off at the wire there last week, but you know, looking at the odds board right now, certainly a lot of attention on him.
And then you wonder, in terms of the trip scenario, Mark, the only horse that's been able to sort of break the bias, if you will, was Loved by the Masses in that most recent race, and he was you know, maybe just a step above the competition. In a more wide open race like this, do you think it's going to be another off the pace type winner?
I do. I think you're just going to have to work out that perfect trip. It's a lot easier said than done. I mean, Sports Obsession right now, he's 3-1. He's the current favorite, which is very interesting to me. He hasn't won in quite some time. His last win was mid-August at Rito Carlton, so you're going about 6 or 7 starts back. He's always in the hunt. He's typically placed very well, turning for home. You look back, he's usually sitting about second over, or you know, he's up close to the lead. So maybe that's what the betting public's looking at. It's not going to be that one that's turning them into the lane, but somebody who is, you know, is just going to be in a nice striking spot.
The countdown clock down to 0 as the starting gate moves into position, and a very good-looking field of 10 assembling for the grassroots final for 3-year-old colt and gelding pacers. Ken Middleton has your race call next.
Greg McNair and Doug McNair teaming up with the 2-year-old grassroots champion from last season. Mayhem Hanover, choice of many here at 7-5. It's post time for the 7th race. The gate swings into the stretch. 7th race field picking up speed. Here they come. And they're off. From the outside, the wild card comes out swinging. Leaving out with him at the inside, Sports Obsession, splitting through his Sundown Kid from the rail, 4th, Twinbee French Toast. Speed in the center now from Mayhem Hanover into 5th, 6th far outside, National Sport, 3 deep and driving. Then we go back to find Better Buckle Up. Towards the rail, YS Matisse from the 2nd tier beginning. He has come away 8th. 9th inside, Captivate Hanover. Trailing 10th is Poseidon Sealster. The opening quarter in 27 flat. The wild card shot to the front. Under attack from Sundown Kid. Sports Obsession driving up now, 3rd outside, now 2nd and gunning. National Sports had a rugged trip thus far, 4th outside. He advances on the rim as the field nears 3/8. Back into 5th now at the inside is Twinbee French Toast. 6th on cover, Mayhem Hanover. 7 to the outside, drives Better Buckle Up. Then YS Matisse, Captivate Hanover, Race Trailer Poseidon Sealster, a half in 54 and 4. And here drives National Sport to the front. National Sport parked well past the half, but he's the leader going into the final turn. Sports Obsession 2nd, Mayhem Hanover ranging up now outside 3rd, Sundown Kid trapped in 4th. On cover 5th is Better Buckle Up. 6th trapped in the wild card. 7th overland is Captivate Hanover. 8th and buried Twinbee French Toast. Winding up in the backfield is Poseidon Sealster, and YS Matisse kicked out the back is 10th and trailing 3/4 in 1:22 and 1. Into the stretch. National Sport under attack. Mayhem Hanover on the outside taking it to him now. National Sport. Mayhem Hanover gets the upper hand in deep stretch. Brushing up off his cover comes Better Buckle Up from the backfield. Deep stretch. Mayhem Hanover clear by a length and a half. 2nd is Better Buckle Up. It's Mayhem Hanover to repeat in the Grassroots Championship. He won it by 2 lengths. 2nd best was Better Buckle Up. Poseidon Sealster rallied from next to last to be 3rd in 1:50.
Mayhem Hanover got picked off in the final stages a week ago by Better Buckle Up in the semifinal, but that was not going to be the case tonight. He really towed that rival up into the race, but Mayhem Hanover came to play in this Grassroots Championship 150 flat. That's a huge mile tonight, Mark.
Oh, that's a real stunning mile turned in by Mayhem Hanover, a new career best for that son of sports writer. And if you go back to the early stages of this race, obviously we saw a lot of action, lead changes throughout, but it was Mayhem Hanover and Better Buckle Up who really didn't get involved early on. They weren't interested, of course, in sitting down at the rail. McNair and McDonald both sort of mid-pack, just staying on the outside there, letting that shuffle at the front play out, and then Mayhem Hanover with that first up bid around the last turn. He comes up on National Sport, who really was smoking there in the middle half. I thought Better Buckle Up looked like he was in a great spot. This just shows you what a performance was by Mayhem Hanover, because as you mentioned, he tows that rival all the way around. And if anybody should have been able to kick on by, you'd think it'd be Better Buckle Up, but Mayhem Hanover was just much the best here tonight. A long journey on the outside and just powers on home for the win.
You're right. Long uncovered trip as well. Lost his cover at about the halfway point, but as Kenny Middleton would say, he lost his cover, but he didn't lose his interest. That is for sure. And he had a real dangerous horse on his back, but no threat to him in the stretch. Mayhem Hanover, that is a stellar performance tonight. Better Buckle Up, second best on this evening. And Poseidon Sealster and Bob McClure picking up another good result. Outside post and a long shot, but picks up some good money. And National Sport, when you analyze the way the races have been going tonight and the trip he turned in this evening, fourth place effort after all of that's a solid performance from him.
I would say so. Down to 3/4 in 22 and 1. He paces that third panel in 27 and 2. That's after a half of 54 and 4 where he was really rolling to try and get to the lead. I mean, that's a big effort, and to not fold in the lane completely and to still take home a good check, full marks to that one.
Well, you knew you weren't going to go through this night and keep Team McNair off the score sheet. They certainly one of the top tandems in the Ontario Sire Stakes program over the last several years, and they click here with Mayhem Hanover. And, you know, at this point in the season, Mark, too, we've talked earlier about a horse like Loved by the Masses. Now we'll talk about a Mayhem Hanover. You get excited to look ahead a little bit in terms of their 4-year-old campaign and beyond. This is a powerful son of sports writer that's been getting better as the season's gone on. He's shown that he can hang with the big boys, and, you know, if he improves just a little bit in the off season, he'll be a nice one next year.
That's the thing. I mean, if he was racing at the gold level all season long, is he going to win? Probably not. Of course, Tattoo Arts, Beaumont, Hanover, they basically just swept the entire regular season there. But I think he would have a bit of money earned. He'd be going to the super final. But this is just where he stacked up. And clearly, you know, he wasn't that much better throughout the season than some of the other top horses. But he was the best in the grassroots once again. That's 2 consecutive years. So just like Loved by the Masses becomes a back-to-back champion, and if he just, again, can continue to improve, and he should find a little more, I think he'll be an older pacer that we'll hear from for quite some time here locally.
All right, there's Chris Matthews, long-time right-hand man of the McNair operation, and a big part of their success, no question, over the years. And it's a real family operation, and having success in the OSS program as they do, it seems, every year. Mayhem Hanover is the 3-year-old colt and gelding champion. Monique Vega is trackside. She'll be catching up to the winning connections in a moment. Gives us time to look at the prices, so it's been one extreme or the other tonight. It's either a real long shot or the heavy favorite, and favorite comes through again here. $3.90 the win ticket return, your $3.69 try. A 20 center at just over $14. A nice superfecta though with some long shot numbers underneath. The 20-cent return there at just over $144. 20-cent pick 4 returned a little bit shy of $200. So again, standing by is Monique Veg, and I believe she's got the winning driver, Doug McNair. We'll hear from them in just a moment.
Here with Doug McNair and Mayhem Hanover. Before we touch on this race at hand, had a lot of success at 2, won the grassroots final at 2, and then obviously 4th place, 5th in the Breeders' Crown. You know him really well. What do you make of, first of all, looked good, obviously, at 2. How was his transition into 3?
Yeah, you know, we raced him in a couple of golds, and he raced good. He didn't embarrass himself or anything, and he raced a few Grand Circuit events, the North American Cup. I mean, he didn't race very good in that, but he's won a lot of top colts, so I figured I had the best horse. Last week, I don't know, maybe I just overdrove him a bit. I went a pretty good middle half with him, and he was on top by 2 to 20 feet from the wire. He just got a little tired on me, that's all, I guess. So, and I didn't drive much better this week either.
I was going to say tough trip first over, but still a lifetime best score at 150. Can you talk me through that trip a little bit? Obviously didn't go as planned.
Yeah, you know, watching him on TV, you'd probably be like thinking that he's in a bad spot. But just the way he felt, I had a big hole in him in the last turn. He was grinding his way up. I knew he was going to give me a good kick. You just can't start him up just too early, because he can go as fast as any horse around for a piece. Maybe not the whole last quarter, but pretty close. So I figured if we didn't start him up too early, it'd be good. But that wasn't the ideal trip, but it worked out.
Well, thank you so much for your time, and I'll let you enjoy that victory.
Thanks.
Once again, it was Mayhem Hanover, Doug McNair, capturing the OSS Grassroots Final for those 3-year-old colts and geldings.
The prices from that colt and gelding pace final. We have 2 more grassroots championships to come here this evening. You're watching continuing coverage on COSA-TV.
COSA, the Central Ontario Standardbred Association, proudly serving Ontario horse people with integrity and accountability. Collaborative, supportive, helping to ensure a vibrant harness racing industry. Lifetime membership is free, and there are many benefits. Become a new member today. COSA, representing the interests of horse people racing at Ontario racetracks. To find out more, visit COSAonline.com.
Welcome back to COSA-TV's coverage from Woodbine Mohawk Park. It's Grassroots Championship night. We have 6 in the books and a couple of more left to go. 3-year-old filly trotters coming up next. The point leader in this division is Profound Paragon, who was a semifinal winner a week ago, one of 2 sent out by conditioner Julie Walker. This filly, after going winless in 3 last year, has flipped the switch this season, 11 for 15 coming in. And her stablemate Yen, not that far behind with 3 wins and 7 on the board finishes in 10. Julie Walker comes from the renowned Walker family here. Long-time top participants, especially on the trotting side of the province of Ontario. Earlier in the week, we caught up with Julie for her thoughts on this formidable 1-2 combination.
Hello, I'm Julie Walker, and I have Profound Paragon and Yen in the Grassroots Finals tonight at Mohawk.
Profound Paragon fights on. The present on the outside is sweeping up now. And it's the present after Profound Paragon who finds just a bit more. And Profound Paragon on the inside holds on to win.
She was a very late 2-year-old. So when we raced her 2 starts as a 2-year-old, they were late January, and we shut her down February. 2 starts ago, she had a rare miscue. It was just a little bump in the road, a reminder that trotters can be trotters. Profound Paragon is very laid back. She has her paddock buddy, they go outside, loves routine, really easy to get along with. Last year, Yen was actually the Grassroots point top leader. She got hurt in the field, so she's really come back this year. She didn't get to race in the semifinals last year for the Grassroots, which was a shame. So this year she gets to try again, give it another go. For Yen to win this week, we're already ahead by having the rail. She's raced her last 2 races on the outside tough. That's her best attribute. She can be out a long way and keep coming. She's the queen of the barn. She knows she's good. She feels good going into the race. I take a lot of pride in being a walker. Having trotters, it's the best. I love having trotters to train. Training horses I love, but trotters, it just feels right.
Well, nice to hear from Julie Walker and talk about strength in numbers. What a great 1-2 punch she has coming in here. Some nice footage of both fillies over at Classy Lane, beautiful Classy Lane training center in nearby Puslinch. And that's what strikes me as we looked at that. Just 2 great looking individuals.
Yeah, and that's quite a 1-2 punch to have, certainly. And for any barn, they'd love to have one of these fillies. So to have both of them coming into tonight's final for Julie Walker, you know that she's just got to be absolutely ecstatic and so pumped up for tonight's contest. You know, Profound Paragon, Greg, it was earlier this season when we were at Clinton covering the Kin Pace, where we saw her win a Grassroots division on that day, and she set a new track record. So if you've been following along throughout the entire summer here on COSA-TV now into the fall, well, we had a good look at her a few months ago, and now we'll see if she can cap off the Grassroots campaign as the champion for 2020.
Her versatility totally on display. We've seen her win on different size tracks this season. A world of talent, and she's got post 3 here, a daughter of muscle mass, and as we've seen tonight with all of his representatives scattered throughout tonight's championships, it's easy to see why he has been the leading stallion in the program this year. That is your field for the Grassroots Championship. We're going to take another commercial break, and when we come back, we will meet the field for this upcoming contest.
dark horse. Download the app today.
There's a look at Profound Paragon in her paddock stall. Makes a nice pre-race appearance, nice and relaxed. We've got all 10 fillies on standby. We're going to meet them in a moment. And Profound Paragon was part of our poll question from earlier tonight. So while we have a moment, let's revisit that. We wanted to know which one that you thought would be the most probable winner in tonight's Grassroots finals. We gave you Four Wheelin', who was able to come through as expected in the very first Grassroots championship of the night. Profound Paragon, she's coming up here, and still to come, Second Bruiser. And, you know, still time for you to have your say. We'd love to hear from you. And perhaps let us know who you think's been the most impressive so far, wherever you are tuning in here this evening. I think one comment earlier did mention loved by the masses. So whoever left that comment, well done, because that one certainly was one of the most probable and did come through and deliver. There's a look at the trotters making their way out. There's the other half of the Walker entry here. Yen, Sylvain Filion will drive. Julie Walker training this one for Overseas Farms Limited of Cambridge, Ontario. Enjoying another solid season, almost a carbon copy of last year. She won a 3 of 7 last year, missed the board only once as a rookie and made $45,000. She's 3 for 10 this year, 7 on the board finishes, and $52,000 plus. We're out here in the set location outside, and it's been deceptively cold tonight. If you're watching on TV, it looks like a nice night, and it is. But when you're sitting outside here for 2 or 3 hours, you do notice it's cold and damp tonight, and that's why I think some of these recent miles we've seen are really impressive.
Yeah, that 50 mile from Mayhem Hanover's got to stick out. Loved by the masses, going sub 154. It's 53 in 4 matches, his career best. Those are good miles here tonight. We've been out here for a little bit. You know, we've been sitting here. We're feeling in the bones a little bit in the hands.
I'll tell you what, Mark, I am looking forward to a nice warm turkey dinner tomorrow. I'm starting to think about that, just to keep me warm.
I can almost smell it.
All right, time to meet the field now. Just 2 more Grassroots finals to go this evening. And there is the aforementioned Yen, a good-looking daughter of E.L. Titan, big, strong filly. It was interesting to hear from Julie. She said this mare is a good feeler, kind of knows she's a good trotter, and yeah, she looks the part on the racetrack. Sylvain Filion looking for his second Grassroots win of the night.
Noblesse du Hurrahs, the 2 Scott Young dressage trainer Denny Guriel. This one got a Grassroots win earlier this season at Clinton, was 5th in the point standings.
Profound Paragon, 5-2, slight second choice in the wagering right now. Julie Walker training, co-owns this one with Stephen Titus, and Bert Renault will do the driving, looking for her 12th win of the campaign.
Chelsea's Magic is the 4, 36,000 made. She's just 1 for 11, didn't get a win at a Grassroots level, but she's always in the hunt. A Bob McIntosh trainee with Trevor Henry driving.
Another Marcel Berrio pupil sent out here from Post 5. It's TH present. Marcel co-owns and already has a win under his belt this evening in the Grassroots Championships. Chris Christoforou with the draw.
Sonadero Deo, the 6th, just got a look at her. Daughter of Cadabra for the connections of Determination, Blay, and McClure. 2 for 3 at the Grassroots level this year.
There's another Cadabra filly. Her name, She Must Be Magic. Jonathan Drury in the driver's seat.
HP Starlet is the 8. Louis-Philippe Wall, drive for trainer Daniel Martin. This one was 15th in the point standings, but had a good 3rd place finish in the semifinal to qualify for tonight's championship.
Tough post position here for No Angel here. She's a daughter of Archangel. Peter Core does the training for this one. Paul McDonnell will do the driving. She's a 3-time winner in 2020.
And number 10 from the second tier, Moana. She won her semifinal last week in 156 and 3. She is 5 for 13 on the season, 9 top 2 finishes, and she had 3 Grassroots wins. She was 3rd in the point standings, and while she'll start from the second tier, you got to give her a big chance to try and take down the Walker trainees.
Slight shift in the odds right now as Profound Paragon has moved into the role of favorite at 2-1. Not a prohibitive top choice, though. You know, and when she has lost recently, it's really been of her own doing. She made the break 2 back, uncustomary. So certainly not something you would expect to see again. Very similar to Loved by the Masses, who we saw earlier. Just every once in a while makes a little bit of a mistake, and if she minds her manners tonight, has to get top consideration, I think.
I think so, and when you watch some of her past victories, you know, she really gets that march in the lane where she just got that look on her and she powers home to the victory. We'll see what kind of steer Bert Renault gives her, and you know, he's going to sit back. Is he going to try and go to the lead early on? Having the stablemate there who doesn't show a lot of gate speed and starts from the rail. That'll be interesting to see what Filion does with Yen, who has actually just taken over the favorite status at 3-1. There's a look at Sonadero Deo. This is the one that I am really interested in seeing here tonight. She's raced 3 times in grassroots contests. She's got 2 wins. They tried the gold earlier in the season with her. I remember talking to Bob McClure earlier in the summer, and he had said that this filly's got ability. You know, they thought that she's got something, and while she hasn't been able to tap into it yet, she hasn't peaked, maybe tonight she finds it. $100,000 Lexington Select yearling purchase from a couple years ago, and you can't beat those connections. They've just been on tear, and I would think Sonadero Deo, you know, she's getting that support at 3-1.
Absolutely. You know, filly I like a lot, watched her race all season long, is Moana, and $70,000 in her bank account, and a big part of the reason why trainer Sean Stacey leads the OSS standings this year. James McDonald, the regular pilot, back on board, just always seems to give you the same race week in, week out, and a lot of times it's good enough to find the winner's circle. She's been there 5 times this year from 12 starts, 9 top 2 finishes, and you know, has that good tactical speed that always seems to put her in a good spot. So at 6-1, might offer the value on the board right now.
Well, I was interested earlier this week. I was talking to James McDonald, and we mentioned about Moana starting in the 2nd tier. She's been a filly that's actually excelled with some outside post positions, still been able to get off the wings well. He joked that starting in the 2nd tier, he might as well just line up as if he was following the 9 or the 10 and then looped around. She's not afraid of the outside, so this will be interesting to see what kind of trip he can map out for her from the 2nd tier.
All right, we're going to bring in Greg Gangle for his thoughts on the field. Greg, anyone out there catching your eye in particular?
You know what, I just think that this is such a wide open race. You know, I spoke with driver Bert Renault earlier, and he said, Greg,
and I think we're just having a technical issue with Greg's microphone. We'll see if we can get him back on board here in a moment. You mentioned Bert Renault, and Bert drives primarily their own horses, so you know, he's not getting a bunch of drives prior to these races on a night like tonight, but he's a cool customer. There's no question about that. I think we've got Greg back, and Greg, you were saying you talked to Bert Renault earlier. What kind of insights was he giving?
Yeah, I just asked him his thoughts coming into the race, Greg, and he said, you know what, there's myself and probably 4 other horses very easily capable of winning. Obviously, I really like the track.
Well, I'm really curious to find out what Bert had to say, but unfortunately the technical gremlins are keeping that from us. But it sounded like, to me, like he was saying that he's one of 4 or 5 that could win the race. That's the impression I'm getting, that it's a competitive field, and I would certainly concur with that. We've talked about Moana, the stablemate Yen getting lots of support, and I would even throw in TH Present, the 5. Good starting spot from the middle of the gate. It's going to give Chris Christopher lots of options. Chased home Profound Paragon a week ago and wasn't that far off that filly, so certainly in the mix as well. It should be another good one. It's the Grassroots Final for 3-year-old filly trotters with the starting gate rolling.
Trotters heading to the gate for tonight's 8th race. Full field of 10 for this Grassroots Final. 3-year-old trotting fillies here. We're number 3, Profound Paragon, the 2-1 choice coming in. Nice bounce back victory last time out for that trotting daughter of Muscle Mass. Look at her record on the year, 11 wins from 15 starts. And she could cap off a brilliant 3-year-old year with a victory in tonight's Grassroots Championship. Public sold at 2-1. It's post time for the 8th race. Eighth race field picks up speed. Here they come. And they're off. Good beginning. Chelsea's Magic, the present leaving. Sonadoro Deo stacked up wide, even from the inside. Noblesse to an awe. Trotting up fifth outside, there goes HP Starlet, keen to go on. Further back at the rail is Yen. Then it's back to Profound Paragon, the stablemate of that one. Caught wide, going into the turn is Moana. Further back we go to She Must Be Magic. Last away, No Angel Here. Onwards to the quarter they trot, chasing the present, as that one puts up 27-4 first quarter speed. Under pressure, though, from Sonadoro Deo, and Sonadoro Deo setting sail for the lead now as McClure hustles that one to the front. Leaving the present with a pocket trip from here. Noblesse to it off third. Chelsea's Magic fourth, fifth inside to HP Starlet. Here comes Yen first over. Profound Paragon to track her stablemate's cover. Then it's Moana. She Must Be Magic, and trailer No Angel Here. Field to the midway point. Sonadoro Deo puts up a 57-1 first half, leading over the present. Noblesse to it off third. Yen is first over, driving fourth. Chelsea's Magic inside fifth, cover sixth out there for Profound Paragon. Seventh and up on the move comes Moana. Locked and shuffled is HP Starlet. Then She Must Be Magic, and No Angel Here trails the field. Make it a 2-length lead for Sonadoro Deo as McClure pops the plugs on the way to three quarters. The present is second. Yen is first over from in third. Profound Paragon ready to flip off that cover fourth. Three quarters in 1:26-2, and they're into the stretch. Still there with that lead is Sonadoro Deo. In the pocket spot is the present. First over was Yen. Profound Paragon trotting up off that cover and closing now. Sonadoro Deo still there with the lead. Outside comes Profound Paragon. Splitting through ladies Chelsea's Magic. It's Profound Paragon on the outside, sweeping up to take the Grassroots Championship. Won it by a length in 1:55-4.
Profound Paragon really works out that perfect second over trip and needed it tonight. Gets there. Didn't win with what I would call authority, Mark McKelvey, but had enough to get it done. And you had to think going into the final turn that it was her race to win or lose the way it was setting up.
Yeah, she got towed into it, got up close as you probably could have been, and turns for home there and is able to power enough down the lane to get by and win. Sonadoro Deo did not fold on the front there for Bob McClure, and we talked a bit about her in the pre-race. She gives a very strong effort tonight to finish a second, but there's Profound Paragon, and she's always got that look to her coming down the stretch. She's usually able to complete her missions, and she gets it done here, but a big effort, and the way it worked out, we were looking, where was she going to be situated? Typically, there's that move to the front, or she's pretty close turning into the lane. She had to do her work, and she definitely gets it done here.
And her stablemate, Yen, she really took her as far as she needed to go. Yen, unfortunately, the tough trip catches up with her, but the horse on the lead throughout. That's a good point. That's a big trip tonight, because turning for home, it looked like they were going to gang up on her, and a TH present in behind looked like she might be in a real bad spot, but the 6 does keep going enough to hold second. There's Moana right there in the thick of it again, as she always is, and Chelsea's Magic, the long shot. Good result from that one as well.
We talked a little bit about Chelsea's Magic. Not a whole lot, but what we said was 6 starts at the grassroots level coming into tonight. She was 0 for 6. She was 10th in the point standings. She'd made $36,000, but she was one that every single week there was a check coming home with her. She just wasn't getting to the winner's circle, and here once again in the final, she gets a third. So overall, pretty successful campaign, despite the fact that she is just 1 for 12 here in 2020 and now 1 for 16 in her career.
And we never did get to hear what Bert Renault had to say to Greg Gangle, but we should get to hear from him some winning words, hopefully after this race. But we were talking a little bit about the fact that he doesn't have the amount of drives that all the other guys do. It doesn't have the benefit of several drives under his belt tonight, to get the feel out there, but could not have worked out a better trip.
Nope, that's exactly, I'd imagine, how he had envisioned it playing out. And it's one thing to draw up a game plan, it's another thing to execute, and they got it done. Full marks to Bert Renault for that perfect drive, as it turns out, and Profound Paragon just keeps it going. And for those of you that selected her in our poll question, well, our poll question now, the two of the 3 options we gave you, they've come through. So can Second Bruiser maybe make it a sweep? We'll find out with one more championship race to go.
And Julie Walker, we heard from her in that feature before the race, and Julie, of course, trains this one and shares in the ownership. So that purse winning tonight is going to put her well over $130,000 on the season. What a 3-year-old campaign it has been for the daughter of Muscle Mash. She faced the gate only 3 times as a 2-year-old, did not hit the board in any of the 3. So they shut her down and came back, and it's paid dividends. She has been the toast of this particular division this season. She was the leading point getter coming into tonight, and does not disappoint, and will take home the hardware as this year's Grassroots champion. And another one that we look forward to watching and seeing what she will eventually become as an older campaigner. And you just get more and more respect for sire Muscle Mass by the year. You know, we've been spoiled here in Canada. We've watched Cadabra do his thing for a number of years, and now Muscle Mass seems to be picking up the torch.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. He's got a great filly here when it comes to Profound Paragon, and just a huge lead over on the stallion side when it comes to the OSS standings. Had $2.2 million in earnings this season, and you know, of course, that was being led the way by Macho Martini, and you just go through the list. It's quite the name, but Profound Paragon, you know, she puts herself right up there with the earnings here tonight by vaulting herself up amongst some of his top 6 earners, going with some names like Macho Martini, I'm Extra Special, and recent gold winners Trina and Massive Flirt.
All right, so we're hoping to hear from the winning connections. We heard from Julie earlier, and she's a lady of few words. It was a bit of work apparently to coax what we did out of her, but Bert, we understand, is similar. They like to let the horses do the talking for them, and they speak loud and clear. There's no question about that. So hopefully we're going to hear from the winning connections, but in the meantime, here are the prices from Profound Paragon. She returns $570, which in hindsight isn't a bad price, almost $6 on her. She's been the queen of the division this season. Sonadoro Deo, she's continuing to improve, getting better and better here as the season goes on. That's a big effort. Chelsea's Magic, the long shot, and Moana rounding out your top 4, and that's a superfecta for 20 cents, worth almost $180. So we're 7 races down, and we have 1 more left to go this evening. And I see Bert Renault over trackside standing by with Monique Vague, so we'll head over there for more winning comments.
It's Profound Paragon taking the Grassroots final for those 2-year-old trotting fillies. She's won 12 of 16 starts this year and just continues to look awfully impressive. What do you make of her performance today?
She raced good. It didn't turn out the way I was expecting it to go, but I knew my other horse there, Yen, she was a good one to follow, so I was pretty happy with that.
I was going to say, able to track your stablemate in Yen. That one raced well. It also obviously ended up fading late after that first over rally, but second over bid. Must have been happy with that type of a trip.
Yeah, I've been going first over with her a little more than I like to, so I was pretty happy to sit second over.
Made that miscue on September the 21st. What exactly was it? Obviously, it's no concern because she rebounded in a big way in both her most recent and then this one as well. What happened? What ended up happening to cause that miscue?
I drove her a little harder than I did all summer. The move we did down the backside, going from 4th to 1st, she never done that before. So we got in the last turn and she got a little weak on me. So I thought I'd try that again.
So where do you think she stacks up? You think she's going to be a gold filly next year?
OSS is done for her now. I don't know what we're going to do with her. She's either going to be a broodmare or we're going to keep racing her a little bit, but she's pleased us very good.
Well, thank you so much for your time. And once again, it was Profound Paragon taking this OSS Grassroots final, 155-4.
Congratulations again to Bert Renault, Julie Walker, and all of the connections as Profound Paragon takes home the trophy tonight. She's the Grassroots champion for 2020 in the 3-year-old filly trot division. Interesting to hear there. We hope that she will, in fact, come back to race at age 4. It'd be a lot of fun to watch this mare and see what she can do as an aged performer. We have 1 more left to go. Rookie Colt Pacers are going to wrap up Grassroots Championship night when we come back.
Enjoy the thrill of the race anywhere, anytime with HPIBet.com. Join for free and use your smartphone, tablet, or PC to watch and wager when you can't be at the track. Stream live racing from over 450 tracks. Bet with ease from anywhere. It's safe and secure. Get rewards, race alerts, tips, and more. For a limited time, get $100 when you become a member. Plus, 1 month free live race streaming and your first bet is on us. Go to HPIBet.com to join for free today.
We welcome you back to Woodbine Mohawk Park in beautiful Campbellville, Ontario. Great night so far. Ontario Sire Stakes Grassroots Championships this evening. Greg Blanchard, Mark McKelvey with you tonight. Greg Gangle standing by as well. It's been highly entertaining to this point in the evening, and one of the races we're most looking forward to coming up to wrap it up, 2-year-old colt and gelding pacers with the highly regarded Second Bruiser, who was so good winning a week ago, looking like the horse to beat.
Yeah, absolutely. Comes onto the scene a little late in the OSS season, but not too late, that's for sure, as he has ever been so impressive through a few starts now. And as the connections were telling the OSS communications earlier this week, here's a horse that looks like a man against boys right now, and I think that's a fair assessment. He has just been huge. Looking forward to seeing what he can do in this upcoming final.
All right, let's take a look at the field page for this upcoming contest. Real intriguing race, no question about that. Take Control, the #1 in the field. He was a semifinal winner a week ago. From Control the Moment, that first crop stallion that's been doing well this season. And he's won 2 in a row coming in. Proline's interesting. Started out in baby races. We saw him at that time for the Jack and Scott Race Stable. He turned heads, and then he didn't surface for quite some time, and then was sold privately to Determination. And here he is coming in good form for that group. But the talk has been Second Bruiser. Stonebridge Rex in the field. He is the point leader, but as we've seen in several of these races tonight, point leader not necessarily going to be the favorite going into the final. So that's your field of 10. A lot of eyes will be on Second Bruiser, who was so impressive winning his elimination a week ago. And so impressive, in fact, we're going to give you another look at it. And that was coming here on that October 1st program. He was in the first of the 2 semifinals, making only his 4th career start. But man, does he look good. That's him second over, and big, strong colt. And when the driver flips the switch here, Mark, he is gone in an instant.
No doubt about that. Just powers home here to ultimately win by 5 1/4 lengths, 151-4. He's got 3 straight wins in 51-4, and could have gone much more on this occasion.
So there he is, just wrapped up, coming to the wire. You couldn't make that look any more effortless. 151-4. And that's only career start number 4. You have to think we haven't seen him even hit his peak yet in the rookie season. So we don't really know what to expect tonight. But, you know, Proline, I'm still really intrigued by this horse. The first start for the new connections, he raced in Sarnia in a Grassroots. That did not go the way they had hoped at all. I guess he literally ran off on driver Bob McClure. He was uncontrollable. Went insane fractions, came home in 35 seconds. That is not what you want to see after you've shelled out big dollars in a private purchase. But the good news is Luke Blay, a veteran trainer, went right back to the drawing board with him, and he's come back and pro line we expected.
Yeah, he has. Yeah, you don't think 53 1 to the half was by design at Sarnia? I don't imagine anybody had ever been to the half that fast, let alone a 2-year-old. But obviously there were some things to figure out. I just remember his baby races when we first saw him, and you know, we'd wrap up our shows and we'd ask, well, who was the one that impressed you the most? I remember saying Proline, and you agreed. I mean, we watched. They're trying to pull him up after his mile. He went all the way down the backstretch. I mean, we saw clearly there was something there. Obviously, Serge Gonan, determination, make that private deal to purchase, and yeah, he's probably been the potential there. They're just trying to tap into it. I think, you know, here tonight he's coming in real well. I thought he had a good performance in the semifinal, and he could be sitting on a big effort here tonight. I'm just not sure he'll have a big enough effort to go with second Bruiser. But for everybody out there, just keep your eye on Proline. I think next season, when he comes back at 3, he might just mature a little more and be ready to finally reach that potential.
Yeah, could he be the next potentially Jimmy Freight, Beaumont, Hanover, Mayhem, Hanover for that matter? We will see. So they'd love to recoup a bit of that purchase price back tonight with a Grassroots Championship. About 11 minutes on the clock here before we get into race number 9. So as we mentioned earlier, this is a really critical time here in Ontario with the yearling sales, the annual yearling sale getting set to happen next week. It would be typically a one location sale, but that's not the case this year. It's been splintered up into 3 different platforms, if you will, and it's going to be real interesting, and we'll remind you of what is coming up next weekend, and we'll see if we can bring in our colleague Greg Gangle to talk a little bit about this as well. Get a look at Chris Roberts' ticket from a couple of weeks ago. A reminder of how poorly we did in that promotion, but yeah, here it is. So again, 3 different things happening here. It's interesting. Our friends at Hoofbit, they unveiled a new auction app this past year that's been proving popular, and they're going to have their first yearling sale via the app, and that'll be coming up this Friday. October 16th starts at 10 a.m. all online through that Hoofbit app. And the London Select sale went totally virtual this year, Mark. They decided a while back that, hey, we're going virtual. We're just not going to be able to have a physical sale, and it'll be done a little bit differently as well.
Yeah, it will. And that entire roster's been split up into 3 groups, and they'll be auctioned off between Saturday and Wednesday. That coming up a week today is when it will start, all through the ongate.com platform, which if you head online, you can see just exactly how that works. And then the Ontario Select yearling sale starts next Saturday morning at Winback Farms, and as it says right there, a bit of a hybrid. It's a mixed bag how they'll get that one done in person and online.
Alrighty, so yeah, we're looking forward to that. Greg Gangle, maybe just a quick thought from you. What are you hearing out there? What's the sense from both potential buyers and consigners as to what things are going to be like here in Ontario? We saw in Lexington the sale down a little bit, but they were pretty happy overall.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is the time of year where a lot of questions are being asked, because here in Ontario with the Ontario Selected Yearling Sale held at Winback Farms, because it's in the Peel region, and they've just been scaled back a little bit in terms of what they can open and what they cannot. So a few more questions regarding that. But overall, I think a lot of trainers and owners are visiting farms and getting set to make their purchases. I think they're doing their homework more than ever in the past, and we'll see what happens here in the next coming weeks.
Well, indeed, and we wish everyone the best of luck. We hope they all go really well, and there'll be some good learnings that come from that I'm sure will be carried over into next year, no matter what the circumstances are. Time to meet the field for our final Grassroots event of the night. We just saw Take Control, the number 1, Louis-Philippe Roy, driving their Saratoga Blue Chip. Veteran Mike Saftic looking for his 2nd Grassroots Championship of the night.
There's number 3, Proline. We talked about him. Could tonight be the night he really comes through? He got a couple Grassroots wins under his belt. Goes for Determination, Blais and McClure.
No plan intended. Number 4, son of Up the Credit, a former Pepsi NA Cup winner for Jody Jameson. Jody drives this one. Wife Steph does the training, and father Carl is part owner with Brian Paquette.
Big Bang Bang is the 5. He was 2nd in his elimination. He was actually 28th on the point standings, but comes in off a good performance.
Colin Kelly, his first drive of the night here. He's on board Mustang Beach for Dwayne Marfisi. This son of Sunshine Beach, a one-time winner in 8 this year.
And the McNairs hoping to get another victory in the Payson Colt and Gelding division. They won the 3-year-old division earlier. Now they'll team up here with Stonebridge Rex.
There is number 8, 2nd Bruiser. He's a gelded son of Believe In Bruiser. Vern Cochran does the training. James McDonald driving 3 for 4 this year, and that resounding win last week in his elimination.
Adrenaline Rush races for the stable.ca, so lots of partners on this one. Looking forward to seeing if he can pull the upset victory tonight. Trevor Henry drives for trainer Kevin McMaster.
And it's been a busy night for the Millar Farms. They send out another one here in Can't Stop Lying, trained by Nick Gallucci. A Sunshine Beach gelding with Sylvain Filion at the controls. 1 win, 5 on the board finishes from 8 trips postward. this season. 6-5 on Second Bruiser. And Mark, you have him tabbed tonight as your most probable, and looking so decisive in winning last week, even with an outside post. Do you think 6-5's a fair price?
I think so. He had the same post position in the semifinal and got a perfect second over trip. It just looks like he is a potential monster out there, and I think had he got to the races a little earlier, he probably could have tried the gold level. That wasn't the case, and he could really put an exclamation point on what it could be a real good stretch of about 6 or 7 weeks for him.
All right, I'm going to stick with Proline. A good post. A fan of this guy right back from day one when I saw him baby race for the first time, so we'll see if he can live up to that. Greg Gangle, who do you like in this spot?
You know what, guys, just looking at the board right now, not a big fan of the 65 price on Second Bruiser. I don't think anybody is, but I think if there's the one horse that can go with him, that is the Rail Starter. Take Control, just an $8,000 yearling purchase. How about that lifetime best there last week? 51-4, terrific performance. Louis Waugh back in the bike for Dan Legacy, Greg, and you know what, back-to-back wins, a lot of confidence. First crop sire, Control the Moment, has a couple of starters in here. Take Control, along with Stonebridge Rex, both been timed in 51 and change as well. So Control the Moment making a nice impact here on the Ontario provincial program. But you know what, just looking at the prices on the 8-horse, that being Second Bruiser, not a big fan of that price. Love the horse, of course, but 6-1 all day on Take Control, in my opinion.
All right, and there's the aforementioned Stonebridge Rex, the other son of Control the Moment. The leader in this particular category this season by points, Team McNair here. They've already scored a victory this evening, so I think 17-1, way too high on this guy because his form is really good coming in.
Yeah, it is. You go back through his last 3 pair of runner-ups. He had a win 3 back here at Woodbine Mohawk Park. That was on September the 8th. He stopped the clock in 1:52.3. That's his career best, but as Greg Gangle alluded to, he has been timed in 51 and change. And here's a horse that hasn't, the trend hasn't been to race him up at the front. That might have been the case in the elimination, but for most times he has been getting an off-the-pace kind of trip from Doug McNair, and maybe that's kind of the way it could shake out here. I would have to think Second Bruiser's got to fire a little bit. James McDonald was in that semifinal able to be patient with him and did get a good second over toe, but here in the final, you might want to get him out of there, and maybe there'll be a little bit of early speed. And we've seen how the front end, for the most part, hasn't been able to hold up.
All right, just before we get going here, we want to thank Greg Gangle for joining us tonight on the broadcast, filling in for Jamie McDonald, doing a great job with his commentary and catching up to the various connections. And Greg, I'm sure you got some plans with the family tomorrow, the young daughters, for Thanksgiving. Are you the one in charge of cooking the turkey or what?
Oh, of course. Wouldn't miss that for the world. I don't know. If I was in charge of dinner, Greg, might be takeout. might be takeout. I'm going to be completely honest. I'm not a master in the kitchen by any means. I'll leave that up to Anna. So and I wouldn't dare do that to my children.
Good stuff. Well, enjoy it. And yeah,
thanks,
happy
Greg.
Thanksgiving to you, and great job once again. And again, we want to wish a happy Thanksgiving weekend to all of our friends and colleagues here north of the border. And it'll be a happier Thanksgiving weekend for somebody here, whoever emerges victorious in our finale. So final scan of the odds board, not much has changed here, Mark. Holding at 6-5 Second Bruiser. So we're going to find out if indeed that turns out to be a gift or an overbet in about 2 minutes from now.
Yeah, well, those horses that we had tabbed as the most probable to come through, they all have to this point. He's got to keep the trend going, but as we said, it's kind of been one extreme or the other. We've seen really good returns or the favorites come through. I do like Greg Gangle's selection and Take Control. We had a good look at him just after the post break. He was scoring down real strong, and I think, again, he's going to be a factor. But for me, how do you go against Second Bruiser? He's just wowed to this point, and here tonight I think he could really make a statement, one that could set up for what could be a big season next year. Maybe we'll be in this spot watching him, or maybe a week from next year would be the Super Finals. Who knows?
Yeah, it's been a great night so far, and we are up to our final championship of the night. Rookie, Colt, and Gelding Pacers. One more time, let's head upstairs to Ken Middleton.
of the tilt board here, 8 Second Bruiser, who's reeled off 3 consecutive winning efforts for trainer Vern Cochran after a disastrous debut performance. This colt has been rock solid, and he'll look to extend the winning streak here tonight. Public belting away at him. He is 3-5. It's post time for the 9th race. Starting gate picks up speed. Here they come. They're off and pacing, driving speed outside. Stonebridge Rex is quickly out of there. Off stride, getting out. Saratoga Blue Chip. Saratoga Blue Chip on the run. Pushing out at the rail is Take Control, who does just that. Speed outside from Stonebridge Rex. Second tier starter Can't Stop Lion away in good order. Third. Outside from in fourth drives the favorite Second Bruiser now. Backed off into fifth goes Proline. Sixth away Saratoga Blue Chip, who reset after his early break in stride. Then we go back to find No Plan Intended, tracked by Big Bang Bang. Next to last, Mustang Beach, trailing Adrenaline Rush. Opening quarter in 28-1. Second Bruiser's got the racetrack, and he'll get respect from here. Takes him up to 3/8, and he's well on his way to the midway point. Second Bruiser, the one to catch. Sitting along second at the inside is Stonebridge Rex. Take Control, Can't Stop Line. Proline gets underway. On that cover, Saratoga Blue Chip. Then it's No Plan Intended, scooting through his Big Bang Bang. Final two are Mustang Beach and Adrenaline Rush. Half and 56-4. Heading into the final turn, Second Bruiser, the one to catch, leads the way just over a length in front. Back in second, Stonebridge Rex. First over Proline third. Take Control to the rail from in fourth. 50 inside as they pace the turn is Can't Stop Lying. Gapping his cover now. Out there, Saratoga Blue Chip. Hustling up 3 wide to get around him comes No Plan Intended. They're up to 3/4 in 1:24-4. Second Bruiser, the one to catch. He's got 2 lengths now on pocket sitter Stonebridge Rex. Proline still first over and driving. Outside, late speed from Take Control, and they come up to the 7/8 marker inside that post now. Second Bruiser still there. Outside, driving is Proline. Way out wide is Take Control. It's Second Bruiser, and Second Bruiser keeps the ball rolling with a Grassroots Championship score well in hand in 151-4, home in 27 flat. Second Bruiser.
Second Bruiser, certainly equally as impressive as he was a week ago, and a real bias buster tonight, Mark, to basically win it on the front end, take an early lead and last that long on the lead, and then kick home in 27 seconds flat tonight is very impressive. And full marks to Proline, chasing right to the finish. It was no threat to the winner, but didn't lose any ground either.
No, he didn't, and I thought Proline, that was a real grind for him on the last turn, but he keeps on coming in the lane. You could see Second Bruiser, James McDonald, got after him there. A little late in the mile, just a little reminder, and you just see him find a little more. Just has such a great way of going, and you'll see it right about here. He gives him one, and he just keeps replying and just storms through the line powerfully. 27 seconds home, 4 consecutive wins in 151-4, and again, like I said, thought he'd make a statement here tonight, and he comes through.
And Proline gets to about the wheel, can get no further, but again, you really can't take anything away from him. And Take Control, he's pacing strong in the end. He drifts a bit wide in the home stretch. It cost him some ground. And I think all 3 of the top 3 finishers will be well thought of and well regarded for their efforts here tonight. But Second Bruiser, late in the season, really putting a stamp on things, and he's sort of come out of nowhere, but his name is soon to become a household one here in Ontario. And yeah, he just looks the part. He's got a different look to him than most 2-year-olds. He's strong, big, powerful colt, and lots of speed to go with it.
Might have to go look for a Believe in Bruiser at the yearling sales next weekend. So Believe in Bruiser gets on the board here, Stallion. That, again, it's not one you're going to see the name too often, but hey, this gelded son of him is just as powerful as they come for the rookies here locally.
So James McDonald, he's been the regular pilot with this guy from day one. And, you know, it's funny to look back now at his lines, you know, right off the bat. Didn't do anything to really turn your head in the first qualifier. He was a judge's scratch. Then he made a break in a subsequent qualifier. badly beaten 8th in his first career start, paced in 56-1, and then he flipped a switch after that. He's just been a different horse in his last 4 starts and thoroughly dominant, kicking home in 27 seconds flat. So puts an exclamation point on our Grassroots finals night, and he is the champion in our final contest and gives James McDonald a win here on the driving side as well. Vern Cochran, the trainer, he's got a nice one on his hands, and not sure what'll be next for him. Maybe we'll find out a little bit after, but he's another one you're already excited about the prospects for next year.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's the thing. I thought, as I mentioned before, the race shows some gold level ability, no doubt about that, the kind of speed he's gone and the power he's got, but late in the year, wasn't enough time for him to really take a crack at the gold, and he's able, though, to make something here in the Grassroots, and I would have to think the Connections would be really excited to see where he could be next year. And I'd have to think they may be spending a little money on some stake payments for next season with this guy.
He wants to dive into those carrots. He's looking for his Thanksgiving dinner here, and you don't blame him. An impressive individual. We've seen many impressive performances tonight. So that, I think, is really the theme, Mark. The big guns, the ones that we expected to do well tonight, all pretty much delivered what we thought they would, and then some long shots that were sprinkled in some of those more wide open races.
Yeah, the races that we had circled as the ones that would be wide open, very competitive, they did not disappoint. The ones that had stood out all season long, and for good reason they were tabbed as probable winners here tonight, yeah, they delivered. But I think that's exactly what you like to see, a nice little mix of it.
We're unable to get you the prices here currently. We can tell you they're low, and that's about all we need to know on this one. The favorites coming through 1, 2, 3 in the top 3 finish order there. As the impressive winner, Second Bruiser, makes his way back to the paddock. Just his demeanor even, Mark. He's just a professional. Look how well behaved he is going back. Nice, calm, cool, and collected, and seemed like a walk in the park for this guy.
Yeah, definitely did. He was just as strong as ever, I think, here tonight, and I'm sure we'll get to hear in the post-race comments just how good he was, how this stacked up to those performances we'd seen in recent weeks.
Speaking of which, let's head over trackside now and join Monique Vague.
Here with driver James McDonald, Second Bruiser, taking our final OSS Grassroots. This one's made it 4 in a row and has looked so impressive and very strong when getting to the front end. How impressed with you have you been overall versus Grassroots Company and then tonight?
He's just been terrific. Like he's big and he's just a dream to sit behind. Every time you need more, he's got more, and I really don't even think tonight he was 100% his best. Like he's been winning shut down pretty well every week, and today, I had to call on him a little bit, and he just does what nice horses do, and he had more to answer.
Went to the front end and then obviously still able to kick home in 27 flat for that final quarter. Looked really impressive down the lane.
Yeah, I just wanted to float him out, just keep him out of trouble. So everyone that's watching knows the front end hasn't been the best tonight. So, I was able to get there pretty easy. You get a nice horse, good fractions. I don't care how bad the front is, it's still the spot to be. So, he was strong, and I expect big things from him.
Okay, down the lane, Pro Line looked like might have given you a little bit of a scare. Did you think you had this one in hand, or were you a little bit concerned about the one in your back?
Well, that's kind of what I was saying earlier. I didn't think he was 100% because I've only pulled the plugs once before, and when I did, it was like airborne right now, And tonight I pulled them, and he kind of waited on me. So, I don't think he's 100%, but they can't be 110 every week.
Another impressive score from Second Bruiser.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time, James McDonald. 151-4 time for this one in the final OSS Grassroots for those 2-year-old colts and geldings.
All right, thank you to Monique Veg, our colleague, Chad Rosema on the simulcast show, providing us with the interviews, the winning interviews all evening long, and Greg Gangle, of course. Greg Blanchard, Mark McKelvey back with you. You tabbed him as your most probable, and he did not disappoint. Really interesting to hear James say he didn't think he was necessarily at his best. That's scary.
Yeah, I think so. And the fact, too, that he didn't sound too concerned that he maybe wasn't at his best, because he pointed out when he did give him a little bit of a call coming down the lane, you could see him find more. And to that point, you can see Proline gets to the wheel, but he's not going to get any closer. So second bruiser, I think, really capped off this night in style.
Well, it's been a lot of fun. We're ready, though, to get inside and get warmed up. Our teeth are literally chattering here, but yeah, really entertaining night, and we can't wait to do it again next weekend. We're going to be right back with you for the OSS Super Finals program, the best of the best in the Ontario Sire Stakes. This is always one of the most enjoyable nights of the racing season here. Let's hope the weather's a little bit warmer. Hey, if we get a night like tonight, we will certainly take it. And don't forget, you can watch all the action once again on COSA-TV. Just 2 more shows to go. The SBOA Finals will be our final show of the year, and that will be happening right here from the same venue on November the 14th. A big thank you to the Central Ontario Standardbred Association, COSA, for making it all possible. We hope you've enjoyed the coverage tonight. Can't wait to see you again. Enjoy your Thanksgiving weekend, everybody, and we'll see you next time on COSA-TV.